beginning of the story, we're shown the royal arena, where the rules of the strength test are announced. The lightest stone weighs 100 pounds, while the heaviest weighs 1,000 pounds. The king's youngest daughter steps forward and effortlessly lifts the 100-pound stone. Considering her young age, everyone praises her incredible talent. Then, the genius girl from the Lin family walks up and shocks the entire city by lifting the 1,000-pound stone. Even the king is stunned, saying that it should be impossible for a girl to lift something that heavy. The queen mocks him, saying, "If only your 9th prince were half as talented. He's so weak that he probably couldn't even lift the 100-pound stone." The crowd joins in, laughing. The 9th prince is so pathetic that he won't be able to lift even the lightest stone. Today, he's going to embarrass himself in front of everyone. As Ruo Chen walks by, his cousin sarcastically says, "Sorry, looks like I'm about to make your humiliation even worse." Without even looking at her, Ruo Chen calmly replies, "Mind your own business." He then walks toward the 100-pound stone. The crowd laughs even harder. At least he knows his limits. That's why he's going for the smallest one. But in the very next moment, Ruo Chen stomps the ground, walks straight past the smaller stone, and effortlessly lifts the 1,000-pound boulder with just one hand. He calmly places it back down as if it weighs nothing. The people who had been mocking him were left speechless. His mother can't hold back her tears. His father looks at his once weakest son with pride, and the most beautiful woman in the entire city suddenly becomes interested in him. What she's thinking about Ruo Chen, we'll find out later in the episode. The story truly begins with a handsome 16-year-old standing in the middle of a beautiful mountain range. Despite his young age, he's an extraordinary genius. His eyes shine with confidence, and every punch he throws carries enough power to shatter solid rocks into dust. But what makes him truly special isn't his strength, it's his background. His name is Ruo Chen, the only son of the Ming Emperor, one of the 9 great emperors, and the most beloved prince in the entire dynasty. Soon, the woman he loves arrives. She's Qiao, the daughter of the Qin Emperor and the 2nd greatest genius in the world, surpassed only by Ruo Chen himself. Everyone believes they are a match made in heaven, the perfect couple created by the gods. Unfortunately, Qiao doesn't seem to share that opinion. Without warning, she betrays and kills Ruo Chen. As he takes his final breath, his eyes are filled with rage, pain, and one unanswered question. Why? Why would you do this to me? But before he can hear an answer, darkness consumes him. The next time he opens his eyes, 800 years have already passed. His mother sits beside him and gently asks, "Did you have a nightmare?" How could he possibly explain that it wasn't a dream? It was reality. A reality that happened 800 years ago. Even so, he forces a smile and replies, "No, Mom. I'm fine. Please don't worry about me." We're told that his mother is concubine Lin, one of the king's concubines in the Yunwu region. She says worriedly, "How can I not worry? You've been sick ever since you were born. If anything happens to you, I'll never forgive myself." Ruo Chen silently thinks, "Every time I look at this woman, I can't help but feel sorry for her. She has no idea that her real son died 3 days ago. The one living inside this body now is an emperor from 800 years in the past." Concubine Lin gives him his medicine. Ruo Chen reflects that when he first reincarnated into this body 3 days ago, she was nothing more than a stranger to him. But during these 3 days, he finally experienced something he never had in his previous life, a mother's unconditional love. Before he can finish his medicine, loud voices come from outside. The chief maid protests, "What are you doing? How can you force us to leave our home?" Suddenly, she's struck by a brutal punch and starts coughing up blood. The 8th prince steps forward arrogantly. "You're just a servant. Know your place. How dare you question a prince?" Hearing the commotion, concubine Lin rushes outside. "Yunan, what happened? How did you get hurt so badly?" She then turns toward the prince. "This palace was given to us by the king. How can you order us to leave?" The prince smirks. "I came here on the queen's orders. You and the 9th prince must leave this palace immediately and move into the stable outside the city. The Vermilion Palace now belongs to my mother and me." Concubine Lin sighs helplessly. "If these are the king's orders, then we have no choice. We'll leave by tomorrow morning." The 8th prince shakes his head. "My mother wants the palace now. You have 30 minutes to get out." She pleads with him. The 9th prince is seriously ill. He can't survive outside on such a cold night. The 8th prince coldly replies, "The weak deserve to suffer. And do you know what's funny? The weak don't even have the right to complain. Your son is weak. That's his own fault. My mother and I won't wait all night because of him." Desperately, concubine Lin says, "Please, show some humanity. He's your younger brother." At that moment, Ruo Chen walks out. "Mother, why are you expecting humanity from animals?" His mother tries to stop him. "This isn't the time for you to leave your bed." But Ruo Chen has no intention of begging anyone. He proudly declares, "If something doesn't belong to us, we won't fight to stay. We'll leave this palace today. But I promise you this, we will return, and when we do, we'll drag him and his mother out of this palace with our own hands." With those words, Ruo Chen and his mother leave the palace. As they walk away, everyone around them begins whispering and mocking them. Looking at the crowd, Ruo Chen says to himself, This is human nature. People bow before the strong and trample the weak. But today, all of them made one huge mistake. They underestimated me. Soon, they arrive at their new home. Ruo Chen turns to his mother and asks, "Tomorrow is the awakening ceremony, right? I promise you that tomorrow I'll awaken my martial mark and prove to this entire world that I'm a true martial artist." Ruo Chen explains that in this world, the gods bless humans with a divine mark. Anyone who possesses a mark can cultivate, but those without one can never cultivate, no matter how hard they train. He thinks about the bastard 8th prince who threw him and his mother out of their home. The 8th prince awakened his divine mark at the age of 10 and has already reached the advanced novice realm. Meanwhile, Ruo Chen is already 16 years old and still hasn't awakened his own mark. According to everyone, his chances of awakening it now are almost zero since divine marks usually awaken during childhood. That's why his mother fears he may never be able to live a good life. Concubine Lin gently comforts him. "My child, I believe in you. Get some proper rest today. I'm sure you'll do well at tomorrow's ceremony." Before leaving, she suddenly asks, "When you woke up from your nightmare, you kept calling someone's name. Tiao, why were you calling her?" Ruo Chen immediately replies, "You must have misunderstood, Mom. I never said that name." Concubine Lin sighs with relief. "That's good. And never say that name again." Tiao is the empress who united the 9 empires into the Central Empire and now rules over the entire continent. If anyone hears you casually calling the empress by her name, you'll be executed on the spot. The moment Ruo Chen learns that the woman who betrayed him is now the empress of the entire world, an overwhelming rage fills his heart. However, he forces himself to stay calm and reassures his mother that she has nothing to worry about. Deep down, he knows this was the last nightmare he'll ever have. From now on, he will become Tiao's nightmare. The story then explains that within the Kunlun realm lies a small kingdom called the Yunwu region. There are countless regions throughout Kunlun, each ruled by its own king. Every year, the Yunwu region celebrates its founding with a grand ceremony where young cultivators gather to showcase their talents. It is also the place where most children awaken their divine marks. The 8th prince mocks Ruo Chen. "Ninth brother, you're already 16. Don't tell me you actually came here thinking you'd awaken your mark today. You're far too old. It's never going to happen." The 6th prince joins in. "Every one of your brothers and sisters awakened their divine marks when they were young. You're the only one who still hasn't. We all carry the king's blood, and it clearly shows. But why doesn't your father's blood show any talent in you? Maybe the rumors about your mother are true. Perhaps you're not even the king's son. Maybe you're just some low-born bastard pretending to be a prince." Hearing those insults fills Ruo Chen with anger, but he knows that without strength, anger alone is meaningless. At that moment, he notices the crystal in his hand, the very crystal his father had given him as a gift 800 years ago. Looking at it carefully, he realizes something. His reincarnation wasn't an accident. Perhaps this mysterious crystal was responsible for bringing him back to life. Just then, the vice chief of the Yunwu region arrives and orders the sacrifice ceremony to begin. After the ritual offerings are completed, the awakening ceremony officially starts. The crowd watches excitedly as divine marks begin appearing one after another. Soon, a 6-year-old boy successfully awakens his divine mark. Everyone cheers. That's the general's son. Awakening a divine mark at only 6 years old is incredible. The general was overjoyed and immediately announces a grand celebration. One by one, more children awaken their divine marks while Ruo Chen patiently waits. Suddenly, the crystal in his hand releases a mysterious wave of energy that attracts an unusual divine mark toward him. Ruo Chen notices it, but before he can react, the mark flies into his body and awakens on its own. The entire crowd was stunned. The 9th prince actually awakened his divine mark at 16. However, they quickly notice that activating it seems unusually difficult for him. Meanwhile, the expressions on the other princes' faces reveal that none of them are happy about Ruo Chen's awakening. The scene then shifts to the queen's palace. A butler reports that the 9th prince has successfully awakened his divine mark. The queen immediately orders, "Bring the 9th prince to me." On the other hand, concubine Lin was overjoyed to see her son finally become a martial artist. But her happiness was short-lived. The butler arrives and says, "Congratulations, concubine Lin. Her Majesty has summoned the 9th prince to examine his divine mark." The moment she hears the queen's name, fear appears on concubine Lin's face. Seeing his mother's frightened expression makes Ruo Chen furious. "Just who is this queen that my mother fears her so much?" Holding his mother's hand, he confidently says, "Let's go meet her. As long as I'm here, you have nothing to be afraid of." The queen addresses everyone. "The king is currently in seclusion, so he couldn't attend today's ceremony. I only want to know one thing. What kind of divine mark did the 9th prince awaken?" An official answers, "Every divine mark ever awakened has been recorded in our archives. But the 9th prince's mark, we've never seen anything like it before." The queen snorts. "If it's not recorded, then it's probably worthless. Awakening a mark at 16 is already a miracle. There's no way it's anything exceptional. Give the 9th prince one bottle of cultivation potion." Concubine Lin immediately protests. When the seventh prince awakened his divine mark, he received 20 bottles as a reward. Why is my son receiving only one? The queen coldly replies, your son and the seventh prince are not the same. The seventh prince possesses a 7th rank divine mark, the highest among all the princes. The 8th prince smirks. Perhaps you've forgotten, concubine Lin. The 7th prince is the queen's son. He carries the pure bloodline of the king and is the future of this kingdom. Comparing your son to him is ridiculous. To be honest, the 9th prince isn't even worthy of being compared to the 7th prince's fingernail. Concubine Lin refuses to back down. Even the 8th prince received 4 bottles after awakening his mark. Then why is my son getting even less? The queen's patience runs out. I have no interest in arguing with you. Rewards are given according to one's potential. I will not change my decision just because you complain. As concubine Lin tries to speak again, the queen angrily interrupts her. My decision is final, and concubine Lin, your tongue has become far too loose lately. It seems you've forgotten the punishment I gave you before. Ro Chen narrows his eyes. She said before, so this woman has been tormenting my mother for a long time. No matter what it takes, I'll make this queen pay for everything she's done. A maid then hands Ro Chen his cultivation potion, and he quietly prepares to leave with his mother. Before they leave, the queen says, the evolution examination is only 3 months away. I hope you'll cultivate hard enough to surprise your father. The 8th prince bursts into laughter. Don't expect too much, your majesty. This fool won't even be able to open his meridians within a year. Ruo Chen silently smiles to himself. On the day of the evolution examination, every one of you will finally understand who Ruo Chen really is. After returning home, Ruo Chen immediately begins cultivating. However, because his new body is incredibly weak and fragile, every step of cultivation proves far more difficult than he expected. Ruo Chen thinks to himself, it's actually a good thing I have this bottle of cultivation potion. With a body this weak, it would have been nearly impossible to even begin cultivating without it. He then starts cultivating the Emperor Domain technique, the cultivation art from his previous life. Using that technique, he accomplishes in a single night what would normally take much longer. By the next morning, he successfully opens his first meridian and reaches the first stage of the novice realm. Ruo Chen explains that cultivation in this world is divided into 4 major realms: novice realm, mystic realm, earth realm, and heaven realm. Each realm contains 7 stages. A person officially becomes a martial artist after opening their first meridian, and with every stage they advance, their physical strength increases dramatically. At the first stage of the novice realm, a single punch is powerful enough to kill a bull. This level of strength is known as 1 ox power. The next stage grants 4 ox power. Ruo Chen silently sets his goal. Within the next 3 months, I must reach the 3rd stage of the novice realm. If I can get that far, then with my techniques from my previous life, defeating everyone here won't be difficult. Outside his room, concubine Lin quietly watches him train through the window. Seeing her son working so hard fills her with both pride and sadness. She hates the fact that she has nothing valuable to help him become stronger. 9 days pass as Ruo Chen continues cultivating. However, because his current body is extremely weak, progressing any further becomes increasingly difficult. He soon realizes that before increasing his cultivation, he first needs to strengthen his physical body. To do that, he'll need several rare crystals. Just as he's thinking about them, he notices the mysterious crystal in his hand. The moment he focuses on it, the crystal finally reveals its true power. Ruo Chen discovers that it's the time-space crystal, a treasure so mysterious that even he knew nothing about it in his previous life. Back then, despite being one of the strongest people in the world, he was never able to control it. That alone proves just how extraordinary this treasure truly is. Ruo Chen quickly reaches a conclusion. Perhaps his previous divine mark was different, which is why he could never awaken the crystal's power. But this time, he possessed the crystal before awakening his divine mark. As a result, he awakened the time-space divine mark, allowing the crystal to resonate perfectly with his power. He remembers hearing people say that no one recognized his divine mark. Now he understands why. Even during his previous life, no one had ever heard of the power of time and space. It looks like I've obtained something far beyond human understanding. Suddenly, the crystal transforms into a portal and pulls Ruo Chen inside. He is violently thrown through space before crashing face first onto the ground. After painfully getting back up, he looks around in confusion. Where am I? And who brought me here? In front of him, he notices an enormous scroll and an ancient book. No matter how hard he tries, he can't even move the scroll an inch. Realizing it's far too heavy, he gives up and opens the book instead. On the very first page, he sees the exact same divine mark that he possesses. The book reveals that its previous owner also wielded the time-space divine mark. According to the book, throughout the entire history of the world, only 3 people have ever awakened this divine mark. Ruo Chen is the 3rd. The previous owner died thousands of years ago. Ruo Chen carefully observes his surroundings. I can clearly feel that this is a completely different dimension. Time flows differently here. 3 days inside this space are equal to only 1 day in the outside world. That means he can cultivate 3 times faster than everyone else. Excited, he tries to turn to the next page of the book. Unfortunately, it won't open. He then tries opening the massive scroll, but it refuses to budge. Ruo Chen sighs. There must be something incredibly valuable inside this scroll. I'm simply too weak to open it right now. Once I reach the 4th stage of the novice realm, I'll definitely unlock it. After spending so much time inside the mysterious dimension, he suddenly realizes something. I'm starving. I should eat first. As concubine Lin watches Ruo Chen devour one meal after another, she smiles bitterly. Now that he's become a martial artist, his appetite has increased tremendously. But we barely have enough food left. How am I supposed to feed him? She then hands him 10 blood pills. I heard martial artists need blood pills to cultivate. These 10 pills won't be enough, but they'll help you for now. Ruo Chen was shocked. Mother, these pills must have cost at least 50 silver coins. Where did you get that kind of money? Before concubine Lin can answer, the chief maid quietly says, Madam sold her favorite hairpin to buy them. Concubine Lin immediately silences her with a glare. Then she gently smiles at Ruo Chen. Don't worry about things like that. If selling everything I own can make you stronger, then I have no regrets. I only want you to become powerful and live a happy life. For a brief moment, Ruo Chen considers telling her that he's already become a martial artist, but he stops himself. Not yet. I want the entire city to know my name before I reveal the truth to Mother. The chief maid then says, Madam, the prince will need far more than blood pills. He also needs cultivation techniques to continue opening his meridians. Concubine Lin lets out a helpless sigh. Even the cheapest cultivation technique costs at least 500 silver coins. We simply can't afford it. And with the king currently in seclusion, the queen will never provide us with any help. She lowers her head. I don't have any other choice anymore. The maid hesitantly asks, Are you planning to ask the Lin family for help? They cut ties with you 3 years ago. Concubine Lin nods. Even if I have to kneel and beg, I'll do it. I believe my brother will still help me. 3 days later, Ruo Chen unleashes his dragon palm and shatters a massive boulder into countless pieces. He smiles in satisfaction. These 5 days of training weren't wasted. I've completely mastered the dragon palm. As my cultivation continues to grow, its power will only become stronger. At this rate, I'll be able to open my 2nd meridian very soon. Just then, the maid Yunnan walks over. Ninth Prince, what are you doing out here? Ruo Chen casually replies, Just getting some fresh air. By the way, how are you feeling? Has your injured arm recovered yet? Yunnan smiles. I'm only a servant. Using medicine on me would be a waste. It's just a broken arm. It'll heal on its own in about 3 months. Besides, the fact that your highness even asked about my condition means a lot to me. She then remembers why she came. Actually, I came to take you somewhere. Ruo Chen asks, Where are we going? Yunnan grins. To meet Ningxuan. I'm sure you'll be happy once you see her. Soon, they arrive at the Lin family mansion. Ruo Chen immediately realizes that this is his mother's family. However, one question continues to bother him. If mother comes from such a powerful family, then how have the other concubines in the palace been able to bully her for so long? Concubine Lin smiles and says, Ruo Chen, you should go meet Ningxuan first. I have something I need to take care of. As she walks away, Ruo Chen can't help but wonder why his mother is acting so strangely whenever Ningxuan's name comes up. Yunnan says Ningxuan is probably training right now. Come on, I'll take you to her. They soon arrive at the Lin family's training arena, where dozens of disciples are practicing. Looking around, Ruo Chen thinks, no wonder the Lin family is considered one of the strongest families in the Yunwu region. His attention was quickly drawn to a young woman. She has already reached the 5th stage of the novice realm, and both her cultivation and martial techniques are noticeably superior to those of the 8th prince. Meanwhile, a few people standing nearby whisper among themselves, Isn't that the 9th prince? The loser who took 16 years just to awaken his divine mark? He's here chasing Ningxuan again. Everyone knows he's been obsessed with her since childhood, but once he finds out she's engaged to the 7th prince, he'll probably end up begging at her feet. The scene then shifts to another part of the mansion. The head of the Lin family says to concubine Lin, the 9th prince has already awakened his divine mark. If he needs cultivation techniques, why are you asking me? Go ask the king. Concubine Lin lowers her head. I'm not making demands. I'm begging you. Please, help your younger sister. The head of the Lin family suddenly loses his temper. Help you? Did you help me 3 years ago when I needed it? Back then, you conveniently forgot you even had a brother. So what gave you the courage to come back here today? You may have forgotten what happened 3 years ago, but I haven't. From this day on, we have nothing to do with each other. Now leave. With tears in her eyes, concubine Lin asks, You know how much Ruo Chen has always liked Ningxuan. Then why are you marrying her to the 7th prince? The family head answers coldly, Because the 7th prince is the greatest genius of his generation, while your son is the biggest disappointment of his. How can you even compare them? Besides, this marriage will bring tremendous benefits to the Lin family. Concubine Lin refuses to give up. Have you forgotten what the 7th prince did in the past? How can you still marry your daughter to someone like him? The head of the Lin family shakes his head. You're mistaken. This wasn't my decision. Ningxuan chose the seventh prince herself. Back in the training arena, everyone gathers around Ningxuan. She walks over to Ruo Chen with a smile. Cousin, I heard you finally awakened your divine mark. Ruo Chen nods. Yeah, but it's nothing special. At the same time, he realizes, so she's my cousin. Ningxuan smiles politely. Well, that's still good news. If you had never awakened your mark, you would have ended up begging on the streets. At least now, you'll be able to live a normal life. Deep down, she remembers how close they were as children. But now, the gap between them has become enormous. Ruo Chen calmly replies, in the cultivation world, nothing is absolute. You never know who might surpass whom. Ningxuan misunderstands his words. She assumes he still has feelings for her. You're still the same. Listen, cousin, I'm already at the 5th stage of the novice realm. Even if you spent your entire life cultivating, you'd never catch up to me. So dream within your limits. Chasing impossible dreams will only end in disappointment. Ruo Chen can't help but think, why is she so arrogant? How could the original owner of this body ever fall for someone like her? Ningxuan continues, I have some good news. 3 months from now, when the king comes out of seclusion, my engagement to the 7th prince will be officially announced. She secretly expects Ruo Chen to break down after hearing the news. The people nearby whisper excitedly. The 9th prince must be heartbroken. He's probably about to collapse. Instead, Ruo Chen looks directly into her eyes and smiles. That's wonderful. Congratulations. Not only are you my cousin, but you'll also become my sister-in-law. Ningxuan was completely stunned. Why isn't he upset? Confused, she asks. Don't you want to know why I'm marrying him? Ruo Chen shrugs. Your marriage is your choice. What does it have to do with me? Just remember to invite me. I'll bring a wedding gift. Just then, Ruo Chen notices his mother standing nearby with tears in her eyes. He immediately walks over. Mother, what happened? Why are you crying? The head of the Lin family walks out holding a manual. Here. This cultivation technique isn't anything special, but it should help him open his meridians. Since he still carries the blood of the Lin family, this is the most I'm willing to do. Overjoyed, concubine Lin says, Ruo Chen, thank your uncle. But Ruo Chen remains silent. He immediately realizes that his mother had to beg just to obtain this technique. I can never accept something my mother had to humiliate herself for. He gently takes her hand. Mother, let's go. We don't need anyone's charity. As they leave, the surrounding crowd bursts into laughter. He's putting on such a tough act. Just wait until the evolution examination. He's going to embarrass himself in front of everyone. Ningxuan quietly says, Father, doesn't Ruo Chen seem different today? The head of the Lin family snorts. He awakened a divine mark, so now he's become arrogant. But trash will always be trash no matter how proud it becomes. Ningxuan silently agrees. Father's right. No matter how confident he acts, he'll never be my equal. After returning home, Ruo Chen begins thinking seriously. If I want to cultivate faster, I need resources. Without cultivation potions, my progress will be painfully slow. Unfortunately, a single bottle costs 200 silver coins. Then an idea suddenly strikes him. Wait, I'm an idiot. I possess countless cultivation techniques from my previous life. I can easily earn money by selling them. The techniques he personally cultivates are all god rank, so there's no chance he'll sell those. Instead, he'll write down a few lower grade techniques. Even the weakest techniques from my previous life are treasures by this world's standards. Ruo Chen immediately begins writing one down. After finishing, he smiles confidently. Even the Lin family probably has only 1 or 2 techniques comparable to this. I'm certain this will sell for an enormous amount of money. That night, Ruo Chen puts on a cloak and quietly leaves the palace. When the guards stop him, they ask, Your Highness, where are you going this late at night? He calmly replies, I'm going to visit the Lin family to see Ningxuan. After he leaves, the guards begin gossiping. Didn't he act all proud this morning? Look at him now. He's gone right back to chasing Ningxuan like before. He really is still her loyal lapdog. Once he's out of sight, Ruo Chen smirks beneath his cloak. He explains that the martial market is divided into 5 different sections. The place he's headed to is the auction house. However, entering it isn't easy because powerful guards protect the entrance. Soon, Ruo Chen arrives at the auction house. The moment he enters, he says, Call your director. I have something valuable I'd like to auction. The receptionist nods politely. Please wait a moment. I'll bring him right away. As she walks away, she can't help but wonder, who is this mysterious man? He demanded to see the director the moment he arrived. A short while later, the director personally comes to greet him. The first thing he notices is Ruo Chen's boots. He immediately recognizes them as footwear reserved for people of extremely high status. Without hesitation, he welcomes Ruo Chen with great respect. What he doesn't know is that Ruo Chen wore those boots on purpose. He understood that no matter how valuable his cultivation technique was, if he appeared ordinary, no one would treat him seriously. Soon, Ruo Chen was escorted to the chief appraiser. He calmly places the cultivation manual on the table. I'd like to sell this cultivation technique. The chief appraiser opens it, reads a few lines, and his eyes immediately widen in shock. This technique is extraordinary. the director says. The starting bid for this technique will be at least 200,000 silver coins. Once the auction is over, the buyer will authenticate the manual. After that, the payment will be transferred to you. Ruo Chen nods. Do whatever your auction house's rules require. A short while later, the receptionist returns with exciting news. Sir, your cultivation technique has broken every auction record we've ever had. It sold for 1.24 million silver coins, and the buyer was none other than the head of the Lin family. Ruo Chen smiles inwardly. So the Lin family ended up buying my technique. The director then brings the head of the Lin family to meet Ruo Chen. The first thing Feng Jianlin notices is Ruo Chen's boots. Recognizing them as a symbol of high status, he immediately assumes Ruo Chen is someone incredibly important. He respectfully introduces himself. My name is Feng Jianlin, head of the Lin family. May I have the honor of knowing your name, sir? Ruo Chen doesn't answer. Instead, he calmly says, forget about my name. Tell me one thing. Did you like the technique or not? As Feng Jin examines the manual once again, he is filled with admiration. This sword technique is extraordinary. The person who created it must be a Heaven Realm master. He respectfully bows. I truly appreciate you selling such an incredible technique to our family. After leaving the auction house, Ningxuan says, I don't know why, but that man seemed strangely familiar. Feng Jin nods. I felt the same way. Perhaps we've seen him somewhere in the city before. Whoever he is, his identity must be extraordinary. Ningxuan asks, why are you so certain? Feng Jin explains, didn't you notice the ink on the cultivation manual? It was completely fresh, as if a powerful master had written it only moments ago. Ningxuan was shocked. How is that possible? Only a Heaven Realm expert could create such a terrifying technique. If someone like that really exists, why would they sell such a treasure for money instead of offering it to the royal family? Feng Jin simply smiles. When fortune smiles upon you, it's best to keep your mouth shut. The royal family possesses 8 top-tier cultivation techniques, yet I'm confident this one surpasses all of them. He hands the manual to Ningxuan. Practice this technique yourself. It will benefit you greatly. And if anyone ever asks where you obtained it, tell them nothing. This must remain the Lin family's greatest secret. Ningxuan nods. Yes, father. I'll remember that. Meanwhile, Ruo Chen looks at the storage card in his hand. All the money from the auction has been deposited into it. He had immediately spent part of it buying 20 spirit crystals from the auction house, leaving him with about 800,000 silver coins. I need to spend this money wisely. He then enters another shop. I need 20 bottles of cultivation potion, 200 blood pills, and every cultivation material you have that can strengthen the body. The shopkeeper's eyes light up. What a huge customer. Today is definitely my lucky day. Just before finishing his order, Ruo Chen adds, and give me a healing balm as well. After returning home, Yunan rushes over. Your Highness, where have you been? I've been looking for you everywhere. Ruo Chen smiles and hands her the healing balm. This is for you. I hope it helps your arm recover. Yunan was stunned. Your Highness, this balm is incredibly expensive. It must have cost at least 200 silver coins. Ruo Chen smiles mysteriously. Let's just say I have a few secrets. I hope you'll keep them to yourself. Yunan immediately promises. I swear, young master, I won't tell anyone, not even madam. Deep down, she's genuinely happy for him. After a moment, Yunan asks, young master, do you remember what happened to the eldest son of the Lin family? At just 17 years old, he had already reached the 7th stage of the novice realm. But 3 years ago, during a battle, his legs were crippled, and he was thrown into prison. Ruo Chen was shocked. The Lin family is one of the strongest families in the Yunwu region. Who could possibly have done that? Yunan answers, you're right. Only someone with greater authority than the Lin family could do such a thing. The person who defeated your cousin was none other than the 7th prince. After your cousin was imprisoned, the head of the Lin family came begging concubine Lin for help. He was willing to do anything to save his eldest son. Your mother repeatedly pleaded with the king, but the queen intervened. In her anger, she ordered your mother to be whipped 30 times. Ruo Chen clenches his fists. The king just stood there and did nothing? Yunan nods bitterly. The 7th prince is the king's most talented son, so he has always favored him. Later, it was revealed that your cousin had nearly killed the 7th prince during their fight, so the king sided with his son. The king used to care deeply for concubine Lin, but after that incident, he slowly distanced himself from her. At the same time, the Lin family believed your mother hadn't done enough to help them, so they completely cut ties with her. Ruo Chen quietly asks, what happened to my cousin afterward? Was he executed? Yunan lowers her head. Death would have been kinder. Instead, the 7th prince turned your cousin into a eunuch and forced him to spend the rest of his life serving him. Ruo Chen was stunned. The greatest genius of the Lin family, reduced to the 7th prince's servant? That's nothing less than a slap in the face to the entire Lin family. Yunan nods. Exactly. That's why I was shocked when I heard Ningxuan agreed to marry the 7th prince. Ruo Chen immediately understands. The Lin family offended someone far stronger than themselves. This marriage is simply their way of repairing the relationship. They've completely surrendered. After this, there won't be any hostility between the Lin family and the 7th prince. Then he smiles faintly. I'm getting tired. Go apply the healing balm to your arm. That night, Ruo Chen enters the time-space dimension once again. As he cultivates, one thought fills his mind. This world never changes. The strong can do whatever they want, while the weak have no choice but to endure it. His eyes grow cold. I'll become so powerful that both the seventh prince and his mother will learn exactly where they stand. He then recalls an important fact. Every cultivator possesses 36 meridians. In his previous life, he had opened 33, making him nearly invincible. Even Qiao, the greatest genius after him, had only opened 31. This time, his goal is far greater. In this life, I'll open all 36 meridians. His immediate goal is to open 3 more meridians before his next major breakthrough. After several attempts, he successfully opens all 3. Without wasting a second, he consumes another blood pill and resumes cultivating. The cultivation resources he purchased greatly increase his progress. However, they still aren't enough to completely rebuild his weak body. To solve that problem, he spends the next several hours soaking in a medicinal bath. The process was agonizing. It feels as though every muscle in his body is being torn apart. Even so, Ruo Chen grits his teeth, endures the unbearable pain, and continues cultivating without stopping. Only 10 days pass in the outside world. But thanks to the time-space dimension, Ruo Chen trains continuously for 30 full days. When he finally steps back into the real world, he immediately notices that his body has become far stronger and more refined than before. Just then, Yunan knocks on Ruo Chen's door. She says, "Young master, just as you instructed, I bought back everything Madam had sold." Then she asks curiously, "But I don't understand. Why don't you tell Madam the truth? She would be so happy if she knew everything you've accomplished." Ruo Chen simply smiles. "Everything has its proper time. This isn't the right moment to reveal the truth to Mother. When the evolution examination begins, the entire kingdom will witness it for themselves." Yunan nods. "Then I'll stand guard outside while you continue cultivating." Ruo Chen resumes cultivating. After many more days of training, he successfully opens his 5th meridian. However, opening the 6th proves far more difficult. After consuming another blood pill and carefully controlling his spiritual energy, he finally succeeds in opening the 6th meridian, advancing to the 3rd stage of the novice realm. When he steps outside, Yunan immediately notices the change. "Young master, did you break through?" Ruo Chen smiles. "It's time to test my strength." He walks over to a massive boulder and throws a punch with all his force. The enormous rock instantly explodes into countless pieces. Tears well up in Yunan's eyes. "Young master, that's amazing. You're far more talented than that useless 7th prince." Soon afterward, Ruo Chen visits the Pill Pavilion, the largest medicine store in the entire Yunwu region. Before he can even enter, the pavilion's manager personally comes out to greet him. Ruo Chen was slightly surprised. "I didn't even notice his presence." The man politely introduces himself. "My name is Han Linmo, the manager of the Pill Pavilion." Ruo Chen gets straight to the point. "I'm here to purchase several medicinal pills. Whatever I ask for, make sure you have enough stock." As he listens to his shopping list, the manager was secretly shocked. Every single item is extremely expensive, and buying them in bulk would cost an enormous fortune. He smiles. "If you had gone anywhere else, you probably wouldn't have found these medicines. Fortunately, the Pill Pavilion has everything you need. Please wait a moment while I prepare your order." A short while later, he returns with all the medicines and presents him with the bill. 80,000 silver coins. Even he wonders whether someone so young can afford such a huge amount. Without the slightest hesitation, Ruo Chen pays the entire bill. The manager smiles. "I have a feeling you're looking for something else as well." Ruo Chen chuckles. "Your eyes are sharp. Then tell me, what do you think I'm looking for?" He answers confidently. "A genius like you naturally needs a suitable weapon. This city has stores for every kind of equipment." Turning toward one of his employees, he says, "Han, escort our honored guest to the equipment pavilion, and tell the owner he's a very important customer." The employee immediately turns pale. "Please don't make me go see the boss. She's terrifying." The manager smiles coldly. "Really? Then don't bother coming to collect your salary either." Terrified of losing his pay, Han quickly gives in and leads Ruo Chen toward the equipment store. On the way, Ruo Chen asks, "You seemed afraid of your boss. Is she really that dangerous?" Han shakes his head. "Dangerous? No. She's unbelievably beautiful. Her beauty is overwhelming." He lowers his voice. "She's already had 7 husbands, and every one of them died on their wedding night. People say none of them could survive her beauty. She inherited all of their wealth, which made her the richest person in the entire region." They soon arrive at the equipment pavilion. A guard asks them to wait for a moment. Inside, the owner was speaking with one of her maids. "Han Linmo is a very cautious person. If he personally sent someone here, I expected an old master with tremendous prestige. Honestly, I don't feel like entertaining another old man today." The maid replies, "Actually, the guest is only 16 or 17 years old." The beautiful owner raises an eyebrow in surprise. "What did you say? Han Linmo personally recommended a 16-year-old boy?" A smile appears on her face. "Bring him to me immediately. He sounds interesting." A few moments later, she meets Ruo Chen. Looking him up and down, she smiles elegantly. For Manager Han to grant someone your age VIP status, your potential must be extraordinary. Tell me, young Master Chen, what kind of weapon are you looking for? Ruo Chen secretly thinks she really is incredibly beautiful. Fortunately, my willpower is strong enough not to be distracted. Aloud, he replies, I need a sword that matches my current cultivation. The owner was secretly impressed. He wasn't even affected by my appearance. His mental strength is remarkable. She smiles warmly. Since you're one of our honored guests, I'll personally show you our collection. Watching them leave together, Han sighs. He's done for. Our VIP guest won't survive today. Inside the weapon vault, the owner begins explaining. Every weapon is ranked according to its quality, and each one contains magical inscriptions. The more inscriptions a weapon possesses, the more powerful it becomes. She gestures toward the display. So, young Master Chen, which sword catches your eye? At that moment, Ruo Chen notices a broken sword resting quietly in one corner. His pupils immediately shrink. That's my sword. The owner notices his reaction. You have excellent taste. That sword is over 1,000 years old. In its prime, it was an extraordinary weapon, but time spares nothing. It was once a Tier 7 weapon. Now it's deteriorated into little more than a broken Tier 1 sword. Ruo Chen calmly asks, how much? 1,000 silver coins. I'll take it. Inside, his emotions surge. This is the sword I used in my previous life. Kiao personally gave it to me. His eyes grow cold. This time, I'll restore both myself and this sword, and I'll use the very gift she gave me to end her life. The owner watches his expression with amusement. He wasn't this happy to see me, but one broken sword completely captivated him. Stepping a little closer, she smiles. Surely you don't want only one sword. We have plenty of other treasures. Is there anything else you'd like? Maintaining a respectful distance, Ruo Chen points to another blade. I'll take this one as well. The owner introduces it. This is the Flash Sword, a Tier 4 weapon engraved with 14 inscriptions. If you can unlock all of them, it will be capable of unleashing powerful ice element attacks. Ruo Chen nods. Charge everything to my storage card. As he leaves, he thinks to himself, I'd better get out of here quickly. Even with my strong willpower, staying around that woman for too long is dangerous. Watching him walk away, the owner smiles to herself. No matter what it takes, I'll make you mine, young Master Chen. Meanwhile, the 8th prince was entertaining a young woman from the Crimson Sect. He says, my mother also came from the Crimson Sect, so technically, you're my martial sister. The young woman smiles politely. Thank you for your hospitality, your highness. I came to meet the strongest young talents in your city, especially the famous 7th prince. The 8th prince replies, I'd gladly introduce you, but my brother is away right now and won't return until the evolution examination. Don't worry. I'll arrange a meeting as soon as he comes back. She smiles. I'll look forward to it. Just then, the 8th prince notices Ruo Chen walking by. His face immediately darkens. What are you doing here? And how could you possibly afford those weapons? He sneers. Looks like this piece of trash sold himself to the owner of this place. That's probably how you got the money to buy those swords. Then he points a finger at Ruo Chen. Just wait until father hears about what you've done. He'll never forgive you. As the 8th prince was about to continue insulting Ruo Chen, the owner of the equipment pavilion steps forward. She says coldly, This is my equipment pavilion, not your royal palace. I hope you won't cause trouble for my guest, 8th prince. If you insist on making a scene here, the consequences won't be pleasant for you. The 8th prince snorts. You're a disgrace to the royal family. Meanwhile, the young woman from the Crimson Sect silently observes everything. Both the 7th prince and the 9th prince are royal princes, yet the difference in how they're treated couldn't be greater. No one seems to respect the 9th prince at all. Ruo Chen has no interest in arguing. I don't have time to waste on people like them. He nods politely to the owner. Thank you for your hospitality. I'll be leaving now. She smiles. I'll be waiting for your next visit, young Master Chen. As Ruo Chen walks away, he looks at the broken abyss sword in his hand. 800 years ago, this sword stood at the pinnacle of all weapons. Yet even something this extraordinary couldn't escape the passage of time. He tightens his grip. No matter what it takes, I'll find a master craftsman capable of restoring it. As long as this sword remains by my side, it will remind me every single day of my revenge. It will never allow me to grow complacent. He then draws the flash sword and begins practicing. To his surprise, simply lifting it is difficult. Until I unlock its inscriptions, this sword will remain incredibly heavy. His current goal is to unlock at least 4 inscriptions. After channeling his spiritual energy, he successfully unlocks the first 2 inscriptions. With a single slash, he cleanly splits a massive boulder in half. Ruo Chen smiles. Buying this sword for only 3,000 silver coins was an incredible bargain. Once I unlock all 14 inscriptions, no one in the entire Yunwu region will be able to stand against me. 2 months later, inside the Vermilion Palace, the 8th prince has just broken through to the 4th stage of the novice realm. His mother, concubine Jia, beams with pride. Well done, my son. When your father sees your progress, he'll definitely reward you handsomely. The 8th prince smirks. This year's only competition is the 9th prince. Compared to that fool, I'm practically a heaven-sent genius. Concubine Jia scoffs. Why are you even talking about that piece of trash? Awakening his divine mark was already a miracle. I doubt he's even managed to open a single meridian. Knowing how cowardly he is, he'll probably be too scared to even participate in the evolution examination. The 8th prince shakes his head. He has no choice. He'll have to show up. Meanwhile, Ningxuan has also made tremendous progress. Everyone in the Lin family praises her. She's truly the pride of the Lin family. Fengjian Lin smiles proudly. You did an excellent job. The sword technique we purchased 2 months ago suits you perfectly. I'm confident you'll amaze everyone at this year's evolution examination. Ningxuan nods. That technique completely changed my understanding of swordsmanship. Because of it, my sword cultivation has advanced far faster than any ordinary cultivators. Fengjian says proudly, across the entire Yunwu region, there are fewer than 20 swordmasters who understand the sword as deeply as you do. And every one of them is over 20 years old. Yet you're only 15. While everyone else proudly displayed their talents to their families, Ruochen remained alone in his room, quietly cultivating. He never boasted about his achievements. Instead, he silently overcame every obstacle by himself. By now, he has successfully opened 8 meridians. After my next breakthrough, opening the first 11 meridians shouldn't be difficult. Soon afterward, he breaks through once again, reaching the 4th stage of the Novus realm. Curious about his current strength, he heads to a nearby mountain to test it. Using his dragon palm, he unleashes a devastating strike that completely shatters part of the mountainside. After measuring the result, he nods in satisfaction. Each dragon palm attack now possesses the strength of 8 oxen. Next, he draws the flash sword. Several powerful sword strikes explode across the mountains, leaving deep scars in the landscape. Ruochen realizes that his swordsmanship has improved tremendously. With my current sword techniques, defeating cultivators in the mystic realm is no longer impossible. Finally, he tests his defensive technique, the one he has practiced the least. After examining the barrier it creates, he smiles confidently. No one participating in the evolution examination will be able to break through this defense. His preparations are finally complete. The next day, the evolution examination begins. Yunnan arrives carrying a brand new set of royal robes. As she helps Ruochen get dressed, she says, "Young master, the 8th prince has already broken through to the 4th stage of the novice realm. Please be careful when you face him today." Ruochen smiles. "I'm already at the 4th stage as well. Besides, I've already surpassed him." Yunnan was left speechless. Breaking through 4 stages and opening 8 meridians in only 3 months? That's unbelievable. Even the 7th prince, who was recognized as a heavenly genius, needed an entire year to achieve the same feat. She lowers her voice. "Please don't tell anyone about your true strength. I'm the only one who knows your secret." Ruochen laughs. "Are you kidding? I haven't even told mother. Why would I tell anyone else?" Yunnan smiles. "Come on, young master. Today you'll enter the royal arena wearing your prince's robes." As she finishes helping him dress, Ruochen asks, "Will mother be there today?" Yunnan nods. "Yes, her greatest wish has always been to see you become a powerful cultivator. Today, that dream will finally come true." Ruochen smiles. "Let's go." At the royal arena, the evolution examination is about to begin. The king looks around and asks, "Where's the 7th prince? Isn't he attending?" The queen answers, "He sent a letter saying he won't be able to return in time. Besides, someone with his talent doesn't really need to participate in the examination." The king sighs. "Without him, I doubt there will be anything worth watching today." At that moment, concubine Jia smiles. "Your Majesty, that's not necessarily true. Something unprecedented has happened this year. Your 9th son awakened his divine mark at the age of 16, and he'll be participating in today's examination as well." The king's eyes widen. He turns toward concubine Lin. "Why didn't you tell me such wonderful news?" She bows respectfully. "His divine mark isn't particularly special, so I didn't want to trouble your Majesty over such a small matter." The king shakes his head. "Awakening a divine mark is never a small matter. Where is my son? Bring him before me." The 8th prince immediately interrupts. "Father, he hasn't even shown up yet. It seems awakening a divine mark has made him far too arrogant." Just then, a calm voice echoes across the arena. "Dogs only bark behind someone's back. 8th prince, seeing you behave like one is honestly disappointing." Every head turns toward the entrance. Ruochen calmly walks into the arena and bows respectfully. "Greetings, your Majesty." The entire arena falls silent in shock. The 8th prince secretly smiles. He called him your Majesty instead of father. Ruochen is finished. The king looks at Ruochen and asks, "Why did you address me as your Majesty?" The queen immediately rebukes him. "9th prince, he is your father. How dare you show such disrespect?" Before Ruochen can answer, concubine Lin drops to her knees. "Please forgive Ruochen for his disrespect, your Majesty." Ruochen quickly helps her up. "Mother, stand up. You don't need to beg anyone for forgiveness." He then turns toward the king. "You want me to call you father? Then let me ask you something, your Majesty. What have you ever done for me as a father? I was sick throughout my childhood. I could have died at any moment, yet you never visited me even once. My mother struggled every single day. Even though we're part of the royal family, there were times when we barely had enough food to eat. Did you ever ask her, as her husband, whether she was suffering? Everyone here is dressed in fine robes, while my mother is wearing old clothes that are years out of date. Honestly, calling you your majesty is already giving you more respect than you've earned. On a freezing winter night, my mother and I were thrown out of the Vermilion Palace and forced to live in a stable outside the city. Where were you when that happened? Now you're only pretending to care because everyone is watching. Silence falls over the entire arena. Everyone present instinctively drops to their knees. The king's face darkens. Who ordered them to leave the Vermilion Palace? Concubine Gia immediately panics. She knows the queen gave the order, but she can't expose the queen in front of the king, so she kneels and says, "It was my decision alone." The king stares at her. "Are you saying no one else was involved?" She lowers her head. "Yes, I did everything myself." The king's expression turns icy. "It seems you've begun to think you're above even me. How dare you confiscate the allowance I personally granted them?" Then he delivers his punishment. "From this day forward, the stable you forced them to live in will become your new residence." The moment she hears the sentence, Concubine Gia faints. The king then walks over to Ruo Chen. "My ninth son used to be timid and afraid of everything. It seems becoming a martial artist has finally given you courage. The fault lies with me. Your anger is justified." Then he changes the subject. "Forget the past. Will you participate in today's evolution examination?" Ruo Chen nods. "Yes." The king laughs happily. "Excellent. I don't know how strong you've become, but this is exactly the courage I expect from one of my sons." Among the spectators sits the beautiful owner of the equipment pavilion. Han Linmo quietly asks, "The king has invited you countless times before, yet you've always refused. Why did you accept his invitation this time?" She smiles faintly. "You already know what interests me." Deep down, she thinks, there's definitely something unusual about the ninth prince. He grew up weak, his mother was never favored by the king, and yet he somehow possesses an incredible amount of wealth. There's far more to him than meets the eye. The first round of the evolution examination begins. The challenge is simple. Each participant must lift a massive stone weight. The youngest princess steps forward first and effortlessly lifts a 100-pound stone. Han Linmo comments, "She awakened her divine mark when she was only 4 years old. Considering her age, her physical strength is exceptional." The pavilion owner nods. It seems they're starting from the youngest participants. Next comes Ning Shan. Using only one hand, she easily lifts the 100-pound weight, astonishing everyone present. Even the king was impressed. The queen smiles proudly. "That's exactly the kind of woman who deserves to become my 7th son's wife." The king shakes his head. "What are you talking about? Ruo Chen has liked Ning Shan ever since they were children. I once considered arranging their marriage. It was only because of what happened 3 years ago that I abandoned the idea." The queen calmly replies, "Ning Shan is a true genius. Please don't misunderstand me, your majesty, but the 9th prince simply isn't worthy of her. The 7th prince is the perfect match." Finally, it's Ruo Chen's turn. No one in the arena believes he'll even be able to lift the 100-pound weight. The only person who remains completely confident is the owner of the equipment pavilion. She knows he'll surprise everyone, and Ruo Chen doesn't disappoint. Instead of lifting the 100-pound stone, he calmly raises the 1,000-pound stone. The entire arena falls silent. The pavilion owner smiles to herself. His control over his own strength is extraordinary. Even Heaven Realm masters can't manipulate their power this perfectly. I knew there was something special about him. Tears fill Concubine Lin's eyes as she watches her son. Meanwhile, Concubine Gia stares at him in disbelief. How can that cowardly 9th prince possibly be this strong? The king applauds loudly. "Wonderful. 9th prince, I have great expectations for you." An official steps forward to announce the second round. The next test is a hunting competition. Only those who lifted the heaviest stones have qualified to continue. Just then, a young girl walks over to Ruo Chen with a grin. "Ninth brother, you're my rival now. Don't underestimate me. She is the 9th princess, Yu Ji." Laughing, she adds, "You know, the 8th prince also tried lifting the 1,000-pound stone. He ended up twisting his ankle and straining his back." The official continues explaining the rules. Each participant will receive 5 arrows. Your ranking will depend on the strength of the beasts you kill. If you fail to kill even one beast, you'll be eliminated. He warns everyone, the mountain is extremely dangerous. If you encounter a rank 2 beast, run immediately. Ning Shan confidently declares, "I couldn't fully display my strength during the weightlifting test, but this hunting competition is where I'll prove what I'm truly capable of." Yuji waves at Ruo Chen. "See you later, brother." As they enter the mountain, Ruo Chen analyzes the rules. This competition isn't about killing beasts quickly. Victory depends on defeating the strongest beasts. Soon, he spots a rabbit-type beast. He prepares to attack, but immediately stops. It's only a low-level rank 1 beast. Killing it would simply waste one of my arrows. Just then, the 6th prince arrives and shoots the rabbit instead. He laughs mockingly. "What's wrong? Are you scared? For someone as weak as you, hunting beasts must be terrifying. If you value your life, you'd better stay outside the mountain." Ruo Chen completely ignores him. He continues deeper into the forest until he reaches a lake. A smile appears on his face. Just as I expected, powerful beasts gather near water. Then he notices someone familiar. Wait, what's Neith's sister doing here? Yuji laughs confidently. You're a little late, brother. These 3 bull beasts are already my prey. Watching her fight, Ruo-chen was impressed. She's surprisingly strong. Yuji quickly kills all 3 bulls. Proudly, she looks at Ruo-chen. Well, how did I do? Suddenly, Ruo-chen's expression changes. He senses danger approaching. Yuji, watch out! Before she can react, an enormous bull monster charges straight toward her. She has no time to dodge. The beast crashes into her horse, killing it instantly and throwing Yuji to the ground. As the monster prepares to finish her off, she realizes she has no way to escape. At that exact moment, an arrow whistles through the air and pierces the monster's throat. Yuji's eyes widen. Brother? Ruo-chen rushes forward like a hero. With another perfectly aimed arrow, he finishes the bull monster on the spot. He quickly runs over and asks, Yuji, are you alright? Yuji gratefully says, Brother, if you hadn't saved me, I definitely would have died. Everyone always said you were weak, but you killed such a heavily armored beast with only 2 arrows. Ruo-chen calmly replies, whenever you use a bow, don't just shoot blindly. First, identify your opponent's weakness. If you strike the weak point, it doesn't matter whether your enemy is a beast or a human, they won't survive. Yuji then sighs, my horse is dead now, so you'll have to help me. As she climbs onto his horse, Ruo-chen asks, why are you getting on my horse? She smiles innocently. Don't tell me you're really going to leave your little sister alone in this dangerous mountain. Come on, let's hunt together. The 2 of them continue deeper into the mountains. Along the way, Yuji explains, in the past 10 years, only the 7th prince has ever killed a high-level beast during the evolution examination. The beast we defeated earlier was already considered the 2nd strongest anyone has hunted. High-level beasts are terrifying. If we accidentally run into one, we probably won't even have a chance to escape. Almost as soon as she finishes speaking, an enormous beast appears before them. Yuji's face turns pale. It's an azure fire deer, a high-level beast. Brother, how are we supposed to fight something like that? Ruo-chen remains calm. We still have 4 arrows left. Yuji looks at him in confusion. What are you planning? Ruo-chen explains, I'll distract it. The moment an opening appears, you shoot. Deep down, he thinks, my enemy is the 7th prince. If I can't even surpass his hunting record, then what's the point of me being here? Ruo-chen steps forward and shouts at the beast. What's wrong? Are you afraid to come any closer? The azure fire deer immediately charges at him. Ruo-chen effortlessly dodges its attack before countering with a powerful dragon palm strike. Yuji cheers. Amazing. But Ruo-chen knows the fight is far from over. Moments later, the deer launches another attack. This time, Ruo-chen blocks it head-on with another dragon palm. Although he manages to stop the beast, the impact still leaves him injured. After quickly swallowing a healing pill, he thinks, I need to end this fast. Dragging out a fight against a beast this powerful is too dangerous. He gathers all of his spiritual energy into his palm and charges forward once again. Meanwhile, Yuji notices something. Its full attention is on brother. This is my best chance to attack. She fires several arrows. Although the arrows fail to penetrate the beast's defenses, they successfully distract it for a split second. Ruo-chen instantly seizes the opportunity and lands a devastating strike. Yuji realizes this is the decisive moment. I can't miss this shot. She releases another arrow, which pierces the deer's eye. Without wasting a second, Ruo-chen picks up one of the fallen arrows, rushes forward, and drives it deep into the beast, delivering the finishing blow. Yuji stares at the massive corpse in disbelief. I can't believe it. 9th brother actually killed a high-level beast right in front of me. Ruo-chen smiles. Not I. We killed it together. Yuji grins. You're incredible, brother. You're definitely the best partner anyone could ask for. Back at the arena, everyone has already returned. The entire crowd was waiting for the 9th prince and the 9th princess. Concubine Lin silently prays, please, bring my Ruo-chen back safely. Meanwhile, Feng Jinlin asks Ning-shan, how do you think you performed? She confidently replies, I'm certain I'll finish in the top 10. Deep down, she thinks, Ruo-chen still hasn't returned. He was probably killed by a beast. No matter how much stronger he's become, he doesn't have enough experience. Just then, someone shouts, look, the 9th prince and the 9th princess are back. The king immediately orders, announce the results at once. Whoever finishes in first place will receive an exceptionally powerful bow as a reward. The official begins reading the rankings. A total of 43 participants entered the examination. 2 died, 9 were seriously injured, and 32 successfully passed. 14th place, 6th prince. The 6th prince sighs, brother, this year's competition was far too dangerous. You were unlucky to participate during such a difficult year. Next comes the 7th place announcement. 7th place, Ning-shan of the Lin family. The crowd immediately bursts into applause. Then the official continues. 3rd place, 5th prince. 2nd place, Linjeng Situ of the Situ family. Linjeng Situ was stunned. I'm not first? Finally, the official announces, 1st place goes to the 9th prince. He achieved the greatest hunting record in the history of the evolution examination by slaying a high-level beast. The entire arena erupts in shock. Ruo Chen had only been cultivating for 3 months. Accomplishing something that even seasoned geniuses considered nearly impossible left everyone speechless. The king laughs proudly. Bring me that legendary bow. I'll personally present it to my son. Ruo Chen respectfully steps forward. Your Majesty, I didn't kill the high-level beast alone. Yuji played an important role in defeating it. Yuji quickly shakes her head. Father, if brother hadn't saved me, I would have died. He's only sharing the credit because he's kind. The achievement belongs entirely to him. The king smiles warmly. Seeing such affection between brother and sister makes me truly happy. My son, who do you think deserves this bow? Ruo Chen answers without hesitation. I'm a swordsman. A bow won't be of much use to me. I'd like to give it to the 9th princess. Yuji beams with excitement. Thank you so much, brother. Ruo Chen smiles. You deserve it. Inside, he thinks, from now on, my mother will finally be treated with the respect she deserves inside the palace. Yuji happily says, Mother, I hope you'll finish in the top 5 in the next competition. The official then announces the final stage of the evolution examination. The combat matches will now begin. The first battle is between Yuji and Ningshan. Yuji smiles confidently. Ningshan, I've heard a lot about you. Let's see if your reputation is truly deserved. She immediately rushes forward with her sword. However, Ningshan effortlessly blocks every attack. Watching from the sidelines, Ruo Chen quietly thinks, I already know how this match will end. With a single powerful strike, Ningshan knocks Yuji backward and defeats her. Ruo Chen calls out, Yuji, be careful. But it is already too late. After returning from the arena, Yuji sighs. I guess I'm just not very good at fighting. Ruo Chen comforts her. Don't be discouraged. I'm confident you'll surpass Ningshan in the future. Yuji smiles and looks at him. Now it's your turn, brother. Your opponent is incredibly strong. I may have lost, but I don't want to see you lose too. As Ruo Chen stepped onto the arena, his opponent, Bai Purin, said, I fight with my fists. It wouldn't be fair if you used a sword. Ruo Chen replied calmly, I don't need a sword to defeat you. The audience immediately began discussing the match. The 9th prince's opponent is from the Bai family, famous for their hand-to-hand combat techniques. The 9th prince doesn't stand a chance. Without wasting any time, Bai Purin charged forward and attacked with his full strength. However, he had no idea that Ruo Chen was still hiding his true power. The moment their fists collided, everyone thought the match was already over for the 9th prince. Everyone, except Yuji. She knew the match wasn't over for Ruo Chen, it was over for Bai Purin. Smiling confidently, Ruo Chen said, Stop struggling, you've already lost. Bai Purin stared at him in disbelief. I put the strength of 9 oxen into that punch. How could I possibly lose after using such a powerful attack? Ruo Chen answered, It's simple. The strength of 9 oxen means nothing in front of me. Bai Purin was completely shocked. He's incredibly powerful. He's been hiding his true strength this whole time. The referee explained. The 9th prince controlled his power perfectly. Although his raw strength was lower than his opponent's, he used superior technique to break Bai Purin's arm. The king laughed happily. Watching this son of mine is truly entertaining. Soon, the referee announced, the knockout rounds will now begin. The first match is between Ningshan and the 9th prince. The crowd immediately burst into laughter. No one believed Ruo Chen could possibly stand against Ningshan. Meanwhile, Yuji was excited. Looks like I'm about to witness another amazing fight. Brother, Ningshan looks really angry. I know you used to like her, but don't forget, I'm your little sister, and she defeated me. You have to avenge me. The 2 contestants stepped onto the stage. Ningshan thought to herself, if I had known he'd become this powerful, I would have trapped him with my charm before fighting him. Unfortunately, that won't work anymore. She looked at Ruo Chen and smiled. Your cultivation has improved a lot. Are you really going to fight me? Don't you want me to reach the top 4? Secretly, she believed he wouldn't be able to resist her beauty. Ruo Chen answered calmly, Reaching the top 4 is just as important to me as it is to you. Whoever is stronger deserves to advance. Use your sword, I won't use mine. Ningshan nodded. Fine, this should be interesting. She immediately unleashed a relentless barrage of sword attacks, but Ruo Chen effortlessly dodged every single strike. Before long, Ningshan began to lose her composure. At one point, she believed she had finally struck Ruo Chen, only to realize she had hit nothing but an afterimage. The real Ruo Chen was already standing behind her. Enraged, Ningshan unleashed her strongest technique. Even Ruo Chen had to narrowly dodge the attack. He immediately realized there was no point in dragging the battle out any longer. It was time to end it. Ningshan sneered. Did you really think you could defeat me using only your bare hands? The clash between them created a massive explosion. Yuji's eyes widened. Brother has been holding back this entire time, so this is his true strength. Ruo Chen calmly declared, Ningshan, this fight ends here. Ningshan stared at him in disbelief. I actually lost? A moment later, she coughed up blood and collapsed onto the ground. Yuji cheered excitedly. What an incredible revenge, brother. The king was equally astonished. He's only had his divine mark for 3 months, yet he's already become this powerful. At last, someone capable of challenging the 7th prince has appeared. Meanwhile, Feng Junlin stood frozen. His daughter had been defeated in a single attack by the very person everyone once called the biggest loser in the city. As Ruo Chen walked away, he said, "Cousin, I really tried to let you win, but what can I do? You're simply too weak." Ning Shan gritted her teeth. "The fight isn't over yet. I haven't lost." Without even turning around, Ruo Chen replied, "There's no point struggling anymore. One attack was enough to put you on the ground. If I use another, you'll never stand up again." Ning Shan shouted, "I still haven't used my strongest move." She immediately rushed toward him again. Yuji yelled, "Brother, watch out." Everyone thought Ruo Chen would finally be defeated. Feng Junlin panicked. If anything happens to the 9th prince in front of the king, the entire Lin family will be destroyed. That foolish girl is digging our graves. But Ruo Chen effortlessly sidestepped Ning Shan's attack and countered with a dragon palm strike. The moment she saw it coming, she realized she couldn't dodge. The impact shattered the ground beneath them. Feng Junlin hurriedly stepped forward. "Nephew, thank you for showing mercy to Ning Shan, my child. Are you all right?" Meanwhile, Ning Shan clenched her fists. "Ruo Chen, this isn't over. I'll make you repay today's humiliation." The referee announced, "We now have our top 4 contestants. The winner of the next match will advance to the final round. The next battle is between Kaifu and the 9th prince." Kaifu stepped onto the stage and said, "I'm also a swordsman. I'd appreciate if you fought me with a sword." Ruo Chen nodded. "Very well." Yuji immediately handed him a sword. Ruo Chen examined it with a smile. "A fine sword. This should be fun." Kaifu grew impatient. "How long are you going to admire that sword? Don't think I'm as easy to defeat as Ning Shan." With that, he launched a powerful attack. Ruo Chen calmly dodged it at the last moment. Kaifu chased after him. "Escaping my attacks won't be so easy." He finally managed to slash Ruo Chen. Watching nervously, Yuji thought, "Brother has only been cultivating for 3 months. His battle experience is still lacking. Let's see how he handles this fight." Ruo Chen looked at Kaifu and said, "Use your full strength. Otherwise, you'll lose." Kaifu became furious. "You worthless prince, are you mocking me?" He immediately attacked with all his power. As Kaifu closed the distance, Ruo Chen calmly said, "The same attack won't work twice." He began blocking every strike with his sword. Growing increasingly irritated, Kaifu launched attack after attack. Ruo Chen continued defending with perfect precision, deliberately provoking him. Before long, Kaifu was breathing heavily. After throwing out so many attacks, his stamina was nearly exhausted. Only then did he realize the truth. "I've fallen into his trap. He's been trying to wear me out this whole time." Ruo Chen smiled and said, "You've attacked enough. Now it's finally my turn." With that, he activated his Heavenly Heart Point technique, instantly shattering Kaifu's sword before striking him and leaving him badly injured. Kaifu stared at the broken pieces of his sword in disbelief. I can't believe I lost." The audience was stunned. Kaifu was already at the 6th stage of the novice realm, yet he couldn't do anything against the 9th prince. Ning Shan silently thought, "His swordsmanship is even better than mine." Could the mysterious person father bought that sword technique from at the auction actually have been Ruo Chen? Feng Jianlin shook his head. "It's possible, but writing a technique of that level should be impossible for someone his age." Han Linmo commented, "The 9th prince has performed brilliantly so far, but his next opponent is the real challenge. Lin Jiangxitu's cultivation is far superior to his, so his chances of winning are very slim." Yu Ruo smiled. "Han Linmo, I see it differently. Do you know why they're called geniuses? Because they accomplish what everyone else believes is impossible." Lin Jiangxitu stepped onto the stage and glared at Ruo Chen. "I should have finished first in the hunting competition, but because of you, I ended up in 2nd place. I'll get my revenge by defeating you here." Ruo Chen shrugged. "Did I tie your hands or something? If you're so confident, come at me." Those words instantly enraged Lin Jiangxitu. He rushed forward at full speed. The moment Ruo Chen saw his movement, he realized this opponent was on an entirely different level than the others. He dodged the attack, disappeared in an instant, and reappeared behind Lin Jiangxitu. As he struck, he smiled. "You're not the only one hiding your true strength. I have plenty of trump cards too." The force of Ruo Chen's attack split nearly half the arena apart. Yet, Lin Jiangxitu emerged completely unharmed. Even Ruo Chen was surprised. Lin Jiangxitu smirked. "You blocked my attack, but let's see how you deal with mine." Ruo Chen immediately realized the danger. "I can't afford to take this attack head-on. If it lands, the match will be over. I'll have to rely on my defensive technique." The audience gasped. "The 9th prince took that attack head-on? This fight is over." Even concubine Lin feared her son had been defeated. But Yuji remained completely confident. "Concubine Lin, trust your son. I have absolute faith in my brother." When the dust settled, everyone was shocked. Ruo Chen stood there completely unharmed. He even smirked and taunted Lin Jiangxitu. The mockery ignited Lin Jiangxitu's pride. Enraged, he unleashed another devastating attack. This time, Ruo Chen countered with the Heavenly Heart Point technique. He smiled. "Fighting you was entertaining. But honestly, your strength disappointed me." Lin Jiangxitu frowned. "Disappointed? I've heard people say you've become incredibly arrogant ever since awakening your divine mark. Now I can see they were right." The two swordsmen clashed at incredible speed. With every exchange, they managed to leave small wounds on each other. Lin Jiangxitu's pride couldn't accept the fact that someone everyone once called trash was actually injuring him. Filled with anger, he attacked with everything he had. Ruo Chen calmly observed him. "You're airborne now. That means you can't change your movement anymore. You've become the perfect target." Lin Jiangxitu laughed. "You really have a PhD in talking nonsense. If battles were won by running your mouth, you'd already be champion." Ruo Chen chuckled. "Talking is just my side business. What I really enjoy is swinging my sword." Moments later, an incredible clash of ice and fire erupted across the arena. The spectators watched in amazement. Many of the young women couldn't help but admire Ruo Chen's overwhelming strength. Even Han Linmo was left speechless. Yu Ruo smiled proudly. "Why are you so surprised? I already told you, geniuses create miracles. But the man standing there isn't merely a genius, he's a true prodigy. The moment I saw him, I knew someone with such incredible willpower and presence couldn't possibly be ordinary." "Ruo Chen, just how many secrets are you hiding?" Ruo Chen looked at Lin Jiangxitu and said calmly, "There's no need to continue this fight. Surrender, it'll be better for you. To everyone watching, it probably looks like we're evenly matched. But you know better than anyone how badly you've already been injured." Lin Jiangxitu refused. "I'll never surrender." He suddenly grabbed several large rocks and hurled them at Ruo Chen. Ruo Chen casually shattered every one of them with a single hand. Then he sighed. "We had such an excellent battle. I wanted to end it respectfully, but I guess some people simply don't deserve respect." With a flash of his sword, he slashed across Lin Jiangxitu's body. Even then, Lin Jiangxitu refused to admit defeat. He charged forward again, convinced that although he had lost in swordsmanship, he could still win with his palm techniques. The moment their palm strikes collided, every illusion he had about his own strength was shattered. With one final strike, Ruo Chen forced him to surrender. The battle proved one undeniable fact. Ruo Chen and Lin Jiangxitu were never equals. From the very beginning, Ruo Chen had been the stronger fighter and had simply been holding back. The audience, who had mocked him at the start of the tournament, now cheered for him with genuine admiration. Yuji smiled proudly. "Concubine Lin, I told you, I had complete faith in my brother." Yu Ruo quietly said, "I knew this was exactly how it would end." Then she turned to Han Linmo. "Keep an eye on the 9th prince. If he ever needs help, I want us to be the first to arrive." The king laughed joyfully. "Excellent work, my son. As your reward, I'm granting you the Ice and Fire Kirin." Watching everything unfold, the 5th prince frowned. He certainly showed off today, but he has no idea the queen will never allow him to live after revealing this much talent. Showing his true strength was a huge mistake. Meanwhile, the queen quietly instructed one of her trusted subordinates to begin monitoring Ruo Chen. Later, Bai Sha gathered all the young participants before a giant statue. He announced, "This is the statue of our great empress. Everyone must bow before her." Ningshan immediately knelt. "Great empress, you're my role model." Bai Sha looked toward Ruo Chen. "9th prince, why aren't you kneeling?" Ruo Chen answered without hesitation. "Other than my parents in the heavens, I bow to no one." Deep inside, he thought, "Once I regain the strength I had in my previous life, I'll personally kill that bitch, Kiao." Lin Jiangxitu sneered. With a mouth like his, he won't survive much longer. Soon, everyone arrived at the blood pond. Bai Sha explained, "This is the blood pond. Cultivating here will greatly increase your strength. However, stay close to the edge. If you go too deep, you won't be able to withstand its pressure." Ruo Chen smiled to himself. Finally, something truly useful. With this, I can strengthen my body much faster. His thoughts immediately returned to Kiao. "Just wait. Once I become powerful enough, you'll be the very first person I kill." Ningshan stepped toward the blood pond. "No matter what it takes, I'll surpass Ruo Chen." The moment she entered the pond, the overwhelming pressure nearly crushed her. Then everyone noticed something unbelievable. Ruo Chen had already reached the very center of the blood pond. Ningshan sneered. "He's too arrogant. He won't last long. His pride is going to get him killed." 3 days later, Ruo Chen was still calmly cultivating in the center of the blood pond. Meanwhile, everyone else remained near the shore, unable to endure the pressure any longer. Even Bai Sha was shocked. This is the 9th prince's first time entering the blood pond, yet he stayed at its center for 3 straight days. If he isn't stopped, he'll surpass even the 7th prince. I have to report this to the queen immediately. Meanwhile, Ruo Chen thought, this body's physical condition is still far too weak. Using treasures like this is the fastest way to strengthen it. Afterward, Ruo Chen entered the mysterious space inside the time-space crystal. He sensed that he had already reached the 5th stage of the novice realm. I should finally be strong enough to lift that scroll. The moment he picked it up, he realized just how unbelievably heavy it was. This thing must weigh millions of pounds. He gritted his teeth. No matter what happens today, I'm opening it. After using all of his strength, he finally managed to open the scroll. Looking inside, he frowned in confusion. What is this? Just an ordinary painting? Just then, a voice echoed from inside the scroll. Fool! This isn't an ordinary painting. It's the celestial tree of the Kunlun realm. You couldn't even recognize something this valuable? And you call yourself a cultivator? Startled, Ruo Chen asked. Who's there? The voice replied, I am the Emperor of Slaughter. I made some mistakes in my previous life, and because of that, I was sealed inside this scroll. You're the only one who can set me free. Ruo Chen narrowed his eyes. Why should I help you? The Emperor of Slaughter smiled. Because I know everything about your time-space crystal. I can teach you how to unlock its true power. I'll lend you some of my strength. With it, you'll be able to open the second page of the scroll. Ruo Chen tried again. This time, the second page opened successfully. Written on it were 8 mysterious inscriptions. The scroll explained that anyone who mastered these 8 inscriptions could create small spatial dimensions anywhere they wished. The Emperor of Slaughter continued. Once you master these inscriptions, you'll even be able to stop time inside the spaces you create. I'll teach you everything. Ruo Chen hesitated. Is this risk really worth taking? After a moment, he smiled. Well, no risk, no reward. Following the Emperor's instructions, Ruo Chen placed a drop of his blood onto the painting. Instantly, the seal broke. The Emperor of Slaughter finally emerged. Laughing excitedly, he shouted, After 100,000 years, I'm finally free. In this era, there's no cultivator powerful enough to seal me again. Before he could celebrate any further, bang! Ruo Chen punched him so hard that he was sent flying backward. Drawing his sword, Ruo Chen walked toward him. The Emperor immediately panicked. Wait! I didn't do anything wrong. Please don't kill me. Ruo Chen kept beating him while scolding him. You fat cat, I trusted you, and the moment you got out, you showed your true colors. After attacking him repeatedly, Ruo Chen suddenly realized something. Why aren't any of my attacks hurting him? The Emperor of Slaughter grinned. Wondering why I'm not injured? My body is invincible. Defeating me is impossible. Ruo Chen lowered his sword. Fine, then let's talk. He paused before adding, but not face to face. With a wave of his hand, he immediately sealed the fat cat back inside the scroll. Smirking, Ruo Chen said, I figured that if I had the power to release you, I should also have the power to seal you again. You've already spent 100,000 years trapped in there. You can stay inside for another few million years. You're not getting out anytime soon. Later, Ruo Chen arrived at the Inscription Guild, a place filled with master inscriptionists, alchemists, beast tamers, and artifact refiners. As his carriage approached, several hidden assassins watched from a distance. That's the 9th prince. Our target has finally arrived. The moment he enters the deserted district, we'll kill him. Ruo Chen turned to Yunan. Wait here. I need to buy a few things. Then he headed toward the marketplace. Just then, he ran into the 8th prince. The 8th prince frowned. What are you doing here? Inside, he was still furious. Because of everything he said in front of father, we've been forced to live in a stable. I'm here to buy a powerful sword so we can earn enough merit to move into a better residence. Ruo Chen didn't even acknowledge him. He simply walked past. A beautiful young woman from the Crimson Sect immediately approached Ruo Chen. Smiling shyly, she asked, You're the 9th prince, aren't you? I'm new here. Would you mind showing me around? The 8th prince hurriedly interrupted. Marshal sister, what are you doing? Have you forgotten what happened at the pavilion? Do you know what kind of person he is? The girl glared at him. Stay away from me. You're just trying to slander a genius. Then she warned him. 8th prince, provoking him won't end well for you. Ignoring the prince, she happily walked beside Ruo Chen. Blushing slightly, she said, I've studied inscriptions ever since I was a child. Maybe I can help you. Ruo Chen thought, she's from the Crimson Sect. If someone that talented wants to cooperate with me, I have no reason to refuse. The 8th prince was furious but could do nothing. Then his eyes landed on Yunan, who was still waiting inside the carriage. A sinister smile spread across his face. Ruo Chen treasures this maid. I've finally found the perfect way to get my revenge. Walking over, he ordered, Take me home. Yunan immediately refused. This carriage belongs to the 9th prince. The 8th prince slapped her across the face. We're both princes, and you're nothing but a servant. You'll do whatever I tell you. He smirked. Take me home. You have no idea what's waiting for you there. Unable to resist, Yunan drove the carriage away with him inside. The 8th prince thought to himself, I'm certain Ruo Chen possesses some incredible treasure. If I capture this maid and his mother, he'll have no choice but to hand it over. First, I'll imprison this maid and make her suffer until all my anger is gone. Meanwhile, the assassins watched the carriage from nearby rooftops. One of them whispered, The 9th prince has finally entered the deserted area. It's time. They immediately fired an extremely powerful arrow, but it struck the 8th prince instead. The 8th prince cried out in shock. Who dares attack a prince? Before he could react, one of the assassins appeared behind him and stabbed him through the back. When Yunan heard the commotion, she turned around. The horrifying scene left her completely stunned. Moments later, the queen's hidden guards arrived and killed both assassins. One of the queen's servants frowned. Those idiots killed the 8th prince instead of the 9th prince. Now the 9th prince will become much more cautious. I need to report this to the queen immediately. Meanwhile, Ruo Chen and the Crimson Sect disciple were casually walking through the city while chatting. Suddenly, Ruo Chen stopped. Where's Yunan? Just then, an imperial officer rushed over. Ruo Chen thought, Why would an imperial officer be here so late at night? The officer reported, Your Highness, the 8th prince has been assassinated. By the king's order, all princes and princesses must return to the palace immediately. The Crimson Sect disciple was stunned. The 8th prince is dead? But we saw him only a few minutes ago. Ruo Chen immediately connected the pieces. Yunnan is missing, and the 8th prince has been killed. Those two events are definitely connected. Back at the palace, the king was furious. Someone actually dared to assassinate a member of the royal family. Find whoever is responsible. Bai Sha stepped forward. Perhaps one of our enemy kingdoms killed the 8th prince to test whether we'd retaliate. Secretly, however, he thought, the queen has made a huge mess this time. I need to divert everyone's suspicion. At that moment, Ruo Chen stepped forward. This wasn't done by our enemies. When the 8th prince was killed, he was riding in my carriage. That means the assassins weren't targeting him. They were trying to kill me. The king nodded. You're right, my son. Our enemies don't have the courage to directly assassinate a royal prince. Whoever planned this attack was after you. Turning toward the officials, he ordered, Gei Qian, investigate this case immediately. I don't care who is behind it. Drag them into the light. Then he gave another order. Until this matter is resolved, every prince and princess will remain inside the palace. No one is allowed to leave the palace at night. 1 month later, while cultivating, Ruo Chen reflected on his previous life. Back then, I managed to awaken 33 of the 36 meridians. The Blood Meridian, Soul Meridian, and Divine Cycle Meridian were the only 3 I could never awaken, no matter how hard I tried. If a martial artist awakens the Divine Cycle Meridian, a powerful defensive layer forms around the body. If I had possessed that defense in my previous life, Qiao would never have been able to kill me. The Blood Meridian greatly enhances blood circulation, while the Soul Meridian allows your soul to leave your body and observe places thousands of miles away. A smile appeared on his face. I have a feeling I'll awaken the Divine Cycle Meridian very soon. The fat cat suddenly spoke from inside the scroll. I know how to awaken the Divine Cycle Meridian. Release me, and I'll teach you. Without wasting any time, Ruo Chen let him out. He immediately warned, don't even think about trying any tricks. The fat cat quickly nodded. Relax. I won't even try. You don't have to do anything complicated. Focus all of your attention on the celestial tree. If you do that, you'll briefly sense the Divine Cycle Meridian. Ruo Chen nodded. Alright, let's give it a try. After concentrating for a while, he finally succeeded. The Divine Cycle Meridian awakened. Ruo Chen was overjoyed. Not only did I awaken the Divine Cycle Meridian, I've also broken through to the 6th stage of the novice realm. He clenched his fists. For some reason, I feel like I'll become far stronger in this life than I ever was in my previous one. Meanwhile, even the Emperor of Slaughter was shocked. He awakened the Divine Cycle Meridian after hearing the method only once. I've only ever heard of someone accomplishing something like that. I've never actually seen it happen. The fat cat then said, take me with you to buy a furnace, and I'll teach you how to create your own spatial dimensions. Ruo Chen narrowed his eyes. If you try to escape, I'll seal you away forever. You want a furnace, but those things are expensive. I've already spent most of my money on medicine. The fat cat grinned. Use your spatial abilities to craft spatial artifacts. Sell them and you'll make a fortune. Ruo Chen picked him up and tossed him into the real world. Get ready. We're heading out. Soon, Ruo Chen left the palace with the 9th princess and Myra. The people on the streets immediately began whispering. Who's that young man walking with the 9th princess and Myra? Someone quickly replied. Open your eyes. That's the 9th prince. He's the most talked about genius in the city right now. Nearby, Chen Feng smiled. So that's the famous 9th prince. I've heard quite a lot about him. Lin Jiangxichu smirked. Stop pretending. You're not interested in the 9th prince. You've got your eyes on Myra. Chen Feng laughed confidently. As far as status goes, I'm not much lower than a prince. Anyone I want will eventually become mine. He immediately jumped in front of Ruo Chen. Ruo Chen thought to himself, looks like another spoiled young master from a wealthy family is about to start causing trouble. Chen Feng politely smiled at Myra. Miss Myra, you're new to the city? How about I show you around? Myra replied coldly. Young Master Chen, mind your own business. Can't you see I'm already accompanying the 9th prince? Chen Feng immediately turned toward Ruo Chen. My apologies, Your Highness. I didn't notice you. I'm Chen Feng Luo, the young master of the martial arts bank. The Colosseum nearby belongs to my family. Would you like to visit it? Ruo Chen immediately sensed something suspicious. He's definitely planning something, but let's see what game he's trying to play. The group soon arrived at the Martial Colosseum. Chen Feng proudly explained, only the truly courageous participate here. Before entering, every fighter must sign an agreement accepting full responsibility for any injuries or even death. Does the 9th prince have enough courage to enter? Ruo Chen immediately realized Chen Feng was deliberately trying to provoke him. Inside the arena, a young man wielding a folding fan effortlessly killed his opponent. Laughing, he said, I already told you to surrender. You refused, and now look what happened. I've won 7 matches in a row. This is getting boring. Myra quietly explained. That fan user defeated someone at the 7th stage of the novice realm. She looked at Ruo Chen. Your Highness, after seeing that, Are you still planning to fight? Ruo Chen smiled. Why not? There's no harm in trying. The ninth princess looked worried. Brother, I can't stop you, but if the fight becomes too dangerous, promise me you'll surrender. Ruo Chen nodded confidently. Don't worry, I know exactly what I'm doing. Then he stepped into the arena. The audience began discussing the newcomer. Who is this young man? He actually entered the martial coliseum? Chen Feng smiled to himself. He's trapped now? Even if he dies inside my arena, the king can't blame us. He accepted the rules himself. Ruo Chen's first opponent stepped forward. My name is Shi Kaiho. I'll be fighting with a weapon. Ruo Chen nodded. You're a worthy opponent. I'll do my best not to injure you too badly. Shi Kaiho immediately became furious. He charged forward. Ruo Chen ended the fight with a single punch. Looking down at his defeated opponent, he said, You're lucky I'm in a good mood today. Shi Kaiho respectfully bowed. Thank you for showing mercy, Your Highness. Someone in the crowd suddenly shouted, That mysterious young master is the ninth prince. He's an incredible fighter. Today's matches are going to be amazing. Chen Feng's expression darkened. I wanted to humiliate him, but instead I've made him even more famous. Even the girls in the audience couldn't hide their excitement. The ninth prince is definitely holding back. Another challenger entered the arena. Ruo Chen defeated him with a single strike. Then another, and another. Every opponent fell after just one attack. The crowd was amazed. 4 consecutive victories on his very first day. That's an incredible achievement. Even the fan-wielding swordsman became interested. His swordsmanship is extraordinary. If he reaches the 8th round, I'll definitely challenge him. Yuji smiled proudly. The opponent brother just defeated was already at the 7th stage of the novice realm. Mara nodded. After every battle, your brother becomes even stronger. He's not just handsome, he's unbelievably talented. Watching all this, Chen Feng became even more irritated. He immediately ordered another fighter to enter the arena. A young woman stepped in front of Ruo Chen. She bowed politely. Your Highness, I hope you'll forgive my rudeness today. Then she attacked with all her strength using a whip. Ruo Chen effortlessly dodged every strike. In an instant, he appeared beside her and grabbed her wrist, forcing her to drop the whip. The young woman smiled gratefully. Thank you for showing mercy, ninth prince. I'll never forget your kindness. The fan-wielding swordsman stood up. 8 rounds are complete. It's time to end his winning streak. Ruo Chen recognized him immediately. He's the one who defeated a peak novice realm cultivator with a single attack. The young man walked into the arena. Ninth prince, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Bin Shengzui. Ruo Chen sighed inwardly. Why did these people enjoy making such dramatic entrances? He could have simply walked into the arena like everyone else. Bin Shengzui smiled. I'd appreciate it if you fought me with your sword. Ruo Chen calmly replied, If I need it, I'll use it. But honestly, I don't think I'll need my sword against you. Bin Shengzui's face darkened. Don't think being a prince will stop me from attacking you. Today, I'll defeat you and make sure you never reach the top 10. Ruo Chen smiled. So your goal is to stop me from entering the top 10? Let's see whether you're actually capable of doing that. The battle began. Bin Shengzui launched the first attack. Ruo Chen casually blocked it. Even Bin Shengzui couldn't believe how easily his attack had been stopped. Chen Feng immediately realized the truth. Bin Shengzui has no chance of winning. He quickly called over his strongest warrior, Hu Fu. If Bin Shengzui loses this round, you'll enter the next match and finish the 9th prince. Hu Fu nodded. Leave it to me. Back in the arena, one of Ruo Chen's attacks landed cleanly on Bin Shengzui, seriously injuring him. Appearing behind him, Ruo Chen said calmly, losing focus in the middle of a battle. That will always be your greatest mistake. With a blazing fire technique, Ruo Chen delivered the final blow and defeated Bin Shengzui. Yuji jumped up excitedly. I knew brother was amazing. When father hears what he's accomplished today, he'll be incredibly proud. Myra looked at the arena and said, The 9th prince hasn't stepped down yet. That means he's planning to continue fighting. Just then, Ruo Chen sensed the overwhelming killing intent coming from Hu Fu. He immediately realized that this man wasn't here to compete. He was here to kill him. Because of that, Ruo Chen effortlessly dodged Hu Fu's opening attacks. Hu Fu laughed. I enjoy killing strong opponents. The girls in the audience turned pale. That's Hu Fu, the orc warrior. Hu Fu grinned at Ruo Chen. 2 beautiful girls are worried about you. I have to admit, you're a lucky man. As he blocked Hu Fu's attacks, Ruo Chen analyzed him. He's extremely aggressive. Since he's an orc warrior, his physical strength and durability are far beyond those of an ordinary cultivator. Yuji quickly warned him. Brother, that's Hu Fu. He's a crazy martial artist. No one who has fought him has ever walked away alive. Myra added, He's Chen Feng's personal servant. He's definitely here to kill you. Hu Fu smirked. You'd be smart to listen to them and surrender. Otherwise, I'll beat you so badly you won't even recognize yourself. Chen Feng mocked him from the sidelines. 9th prince, if you're scared, feel free to surrender. I'd hate to be the one who has to report to the king that his son died in my arena. Ruo Chen smiled calmly. The fight has barely started. How can you already know who's going to win? Chen Feng sneered. Hu Fu, show him your true strength. Crush both his pride and his body. Hu Fu raised his axe. Little prince, your lucky days are over. He charged forward and attacked. Ruo Chen casually blocked the blow. That wasn't enough. Hit me harder, Hu Fu roared. You'll regret saying that. He unleashed another devastating attack. Even Yu Ji became nervous after witnessing its destructive power. But when the smoke cleared, Ruo Chen was standing there completely unharmed. He looked at Hu Fu and mocked him. You're a disgrace to the entire orc race. You couldn't even overpower an ordinary human. With that, Ruo Chen counterattacked and wounded Hu Fu. Before Hu Fu could recover, Ruo Chen increased the speed of his attacks. Smiling, he said, "Let's see how many cuts that tough body of yours can withstand." Within moments, Hu Fu's body was covered in wounds. Even so, he burst into laughter. "I'll admit it, you managed to injure me, but that was your biggest mistake. Now I'll show you my true strength, the power that makes everyone fear me." As he spoke, Hu Fu activated his berserk mode. His aura exploded, and he hurled his gigantic axe toward Ruo Chen. Even Ruo Chen was surprised. His strength really increased that much. He immediately activated his defensive barrier, effortlessly blocking the axe. Hu Fu confidently believed he could shatter the barrier with brute force. But no matter how hard he attacked, the barrier didn't even crack. Ruo Chen laughed. "Embarrassing yourself again? You can't even break a simple barrier." Hu Fu became furious and repeatedly smashed his axe against the barrier. Despite attacking continuously, he achieved nothing. Instead, he only exhausted himself. Realizing brute force wasn't enough, Hu Fu decided to unleash everything he had. The audience grew nervous. Everyone knew that once Hu Fu activated his beast bloodline, every one of his attacks possessed the strength of 49 tigers. Yu Ji shouted anxiously, "Brother, please surrender." Even Chen Fen couldn't help but admit, Hu Fu actually had to use his full strength. "I have to admit, Ninth Prince, you're impressive." Hu Fu gathered every ounce of his power and launched one final attack against Ruo Chen's barrier. Ruo Chen immediately realized something. As long as I keep this barrier active, Hu Fu won't be able to hurt me. But if I keep maintaining it, I'll eventually run out of spiritual energy and collapse first. Suddenly, he dismissed the barrier. Yu Ji gasped. Brother removed his defensive barrier. How is he going to fight now? In the next instant, Ruo Chen flashed forward at incredible speed and slashed Hu Fu across the chest. Hu Fu stared at him in disbelief. I lost? As Hu Fu collapsed inside the arena, the entire audience fell silent. No one could believe that the legendary orc warrior had actually been defeated by the Ninth Prince. The girls erupted in cheers. That was amazing! The Ninth Prince has proven that he's one of the strongest young martial artists in the kingdom. Only then did they realize they weren't even on the same side. Meanwhile, Chen Feng's face turned completely dark. The crowd excitedly shouted, "The Ninth Prince has won 9 matches in a row. Just one more victory, and he'll officially enter the top 10. At that moment, another fighter stepped into the arena. He smiled confidently. "Your next opponent is me. You're truly impressive, Ninth Prince. You've already defeated 9 opponents and built quite a reputation. I'm here to destroy that reputation." The moment Ruo Chen felt his aura, he immediately understood. Although his own combat skills were superior, this opponent possessed even greater spiritual energy. Without hesitation, the man rushed toward Ruo Chen. Ruo Chen smiled. "Finally, someone worthy of testing my full strength." The two immediately clashed. During the battle, Chen Fen constantly tried to provoke Ruo Chen, hoping he'd lose his temper and make a mistake. But Ruo Chen saw right through the plan and forced Chen Feng backward instead. Chen Feng praised him. "I have to admit, your swordsmanship is excellent. But against me, it's still not enough." Ruo Chen remained calm. Dodging all these attacks would have been difficult before. But after awakening my ice meridian, it won't be a problem anymore. Chen Feng frowned. Does he seriously think he can dodge every attack? To everyone's surprise, Ruo Chen did exactly that. He effortlessly avoided every strike. Chen Feng responded by increasing the speed of his attacks even further. Yet Ruo Chen continued dodging them all while steadily closing the distance. Chen Feng laughed. "Getting this close to me isn't frightening? This next attack will finish you." At that moment, Ruo Chen activated the power of his time-space crystal. A massive explosion shook the entire arena. The spectators assumed Ruo Chen had finally been defeated. Even Yu Ji believed her brother had been seriously injured. Standing in the smoke, Chen Feng thought he had already won. But before he could celebrate, Ruo Chen appeared right in front of him. With a smirk, he said, "You should get your eyes checked. Can't you see? I'm standing right in front of you." He immediately launched another attack. Chen Feng couldn't believe it. How did his speed become this fast? He barely managed to avoid the strike. The battle continued, with neither fighter willing to give up. After another fierce exchange, Chen Feng sneered, "Ruo Chen, surrender. I can tell you've already exhausted all your spiritual energy." Ruo Chen smiled. "Worry about yourself. You don't have enough strength left to keep standing either." Those words infuriated Chen Feng. He shouted, "I'm the greatest genius in this entire region. After my next attack you won't survive." Ruo Chen shrugged. All right. Bark as much as you want." Chen Feng unleashed his ultimate attack. Ruo Chen answered with the Heavenly Heart Point technique. The collision triggered an enormous explosion. Myra gasped. "What terrifying power! If either of those attacks had hit us, we'd never survive." The next second, Chen Feng suddenly appeared in front of Ruo Chen. Ruo Chen deliberately threw away his sword. Seeing this, Chen Feng believed victory was finally within his grasp. But before he could react, Ruo Chen's palm strike slammed directly into his abdomen. Looking at the unconscious Chen Feng, Ruo Chen said, "Chen Feng isn't even capable of admitting defeat. He's already lost. He won't even be able to stand up now." Yi ran over excitedly. "Brother, that was incredible. On your very first attempt, you've become one of the top 10 fighters." High above the arena, Chen Feng's father silently watched the entire battle. He turned to one of his guards and said, "Take that foolish boy away for treatment. He still doesn't know the difference between making friends and making enemies." The guard nodded. "The 9th prince is truly extraordinary. I believe he'll eventually surpass even the 7th prince." Chen Feng's father smiled. "The 7th prince isn't on our side. From now on, we'll support the 9th prince instead. If those two brothers fight over the throne in the future, the greatest beneficiaries will be the Martial Arts Bank, the Black Market, and the Inscription Guild." The young woman then stepped into the arena and made an announcement. "The 9th prince has officially entered the top 10 fighters. As a reward, he will receive 100,000 silver coins." The audience erupted in cheers. Every member of the royal family is a genius. Seeing talents like them makes us confident that the kingdom's future is in safe hands. Meanwhile, Ruo Chen sighed to himself. "I risked my life, and this is all I get?" Just then, Yuji and Myra ran over and hugged him excitedly. "You were amazing." Watching from the sidelines, several girls whispered, "People always say geniuses are surrounded by beautiful girls." Ningshan must be crying somewhere right now after realizing what she lost because of her arrogance. Yuji smiled. "Brother, since you've entered the top 10, you've earned the right to enter the blood pond again." Ruo Chen looked surprised. "Really? I didn't know that." Later, Ruo Chen returned to the palace. The king asked him, "How many meridians have you opened now?" Ruo Chen replied, "I've recently opened 27 meridians." The king was stunned. 27? He took a deep breath. "I don't know what cultivation technique you're using, but promise me one thing. Never tell anyone about this except me." Then he handed Ruo Chen a suit of armor. "I've specially forged this armor for you. It can conceal the number of meridians you've opened." He also handed him a pill. "This is a 4th grade pill. Use it when you enter the blood pond. It will help you tremendously." The king sighed. Everyone thinks being born into the royal family is a blessing, but the truth is it's filled with dangers. If you aren't strong enough, you'll simply become someone else's stepping stone. Ruo Chen nodded. "I understand, father. I'll remember your words." Elsewhere, the queen was furious. "The 9th prince has grown far too quickly. We must stop him before he becomes even stronger." Her guard asked, "Your Majesty, what are you planning?" The queen answered coldly, "Qin Nuo. No matter what it takes, I want to see the 9th prince dead within 1 month." Qin Nuo bowed respectfully. "Don't worry, Your Majesty. I'll get it done." Then she frowned. "The only problem is that the 9th prince spends almost all his time inside the palace." The queen smiled. "He still leaves the palace 10% of the time. Wait for that opportunity and kill him." She muttered to herself. "Ruo Chen, showing off your talent was the biggest mistake you've ever made. No matter what it costs, I won't allow you to surpass my son." The scene shifted to the Lin family. Grand Elder Lin addressed everyone. "After returning, I learned that another genius has appeared in our kingdom, someone capable of rivaling the 7th prince. That person is none other than my own grandson, Ruo Chen." He looked at Feng Jin. "Forget everything that happened over the past 3 years. Go apologize to your sister immediately, and arrange Ningshan's marriage to Ruo Chen." Everyone was left speechless. Feng Jin remained silent. Grand Elder Lin frowned. "Why aren't you saying anything?" Feng Jin's second wife objected. "Father, if my husband apologizes to his sister in front of everyone, our family's reputation will be ruined." The third elder agreed. "Father, that's not a good idea. It would humiliate the entire Lin family." Grand Elder Lin slammed his cane on the ground. "I'd like to see who dares disobey me. Tomorrow, you're coming with me to apologize to your sister and to Ruo Chen. This isn't optional." Feng Jian sighed. "Father, I understand what you're trying to do. But if I, as the head of the Lin family, apologize publicly, what reputation will I have left?" Grand Elder Lin glared at him. "What reputation? We already lost it 3 years ago. The people we should have stood against, we never dared oppose. Instead, we've spent years blaming innocent people who had nothing to do with it." Just then, another voice interrupted. "There's no need to apologize to Concubine Lin." Everyone turned around in shock. Feng Jin exclaimed, "Chen Yu, what are you doing here?" This was the same Chen Yu who had become the 7th prince's loyal subordinate. Chen Yu sneered. "The Ruo Chen you're all praising so highly won't be alive much longer. The 7th prince has already decided to eliminate him." Grand Elder Lin frowned. "Did the 7th prince send you to kill Ruo Chen? How can you even think about doing that? He's your own cousin." Chen Yu answered without hesitation. "If my master orders me to kill someone, I kill them. Besides, grandfather, if our family chooses the wrong side, once the 7th prince ascends the throne, he'll wipe out the entire Lin family." Grand Elder Lin shouted angrily. "What nonsense are you talking about? The 7th prince has treated us terribly. If we support Ruo Chen, we'll finally have a chance to take revenge." Yet you're talking about murdering your own cousin? Chen Yu looked at him coldly. You're old. Your judgment isn't what it used to be. I actually came here with good news. The 7th prince has agreed to marry Ning Shan. I'll soon discuss it with the queen and set the wedding date. Feng Zhen's brothers immediately smiled. That's wonderful news. Grand Elder Lin stared at Feng Zhen. Is this true? Feng Zhen nodded. Yes. Chen Yu and Ning Shan made this decision together. They believe that once the 7th prince becomes king, our family will receive countless benefits. Grand Elder Lin closed his eyes in disappointment. When I led the Lin family, we stood proudly on our own. But the people standing before me today are nothing more than servants of the 7th prince. I'm ashamed of every single one of you. The scene shifted back to the blood pond. Ruo Chen continued cultivating peacefully. He thought, I've been cultivating here ever since taking the 4th grade pill. I can already feel that the blood pond's energy may allow me to awaken both the blood meridian and the soul meridian. If I succeed, I'll become even stronger than I was in my previous life. 10 days later, Ruo Chen opened his eyes and smiled. I finally did it. Not only have I broken through to the 7th stage of the novice realm, I've successfully awakened all 36 meridians. A tremendous surge of energy erupted from his body. Using the power of the soul meridian, he successfully separated his soul from his physical body. Watching from nearby, the fat cat was completely stunned. He actually separated his soul from his body. Even Heavenly Realm Masters struggle to accomplish something like that. This kid is truly terrifying. Anyone foolish enough to make him their enemy is asking for death. The fat cat continued thinking, after all, he's the master of the time-space crystal. In the future, once he fully masters his soul power, he'll reach an entirely different level of strength. Personally, I don't think it'll take him very long to reach that realm. Later, while Ruo Chen was training in his courtyard, Yuji rushed over. Brother, this isn't the time to keep training. Didn't you hear? Ning Shan has officially become engaged to the 7th prince. Ruo Chen answered indifferently. What does that have to do with me? Actually, I was about to look for you. Let's head back to the Martial Colosseum. Yuji was surprised. Father told me you spent 24 days cultivating inside the blood pond. And in just that short time, you've already reached the peak of the novice realm? Ruo Chen laughed. I was so focused on cultivating that I didn't even realize how much I'd progressed. Yuji smiled excitedly. Then, let's hurry. I can't wait to see what rank you'll achieve at the Colosseum today. Before leaving the palace, she cleverly disguised both of them so the crowds of fans wouldn't surround them. Meanwhile, hidden in the shadows, Kinua watched everything. A cold smile spread across her face. Finally, my opportunity has arrived. As Ruo Chen looked at the large crowd gathered ahead, he asked, Why is everyone gathered here? A passerby replied, There's an incredibly dangerous swordsman fighting in the arena today. He doesn't leave any of his opponents alive. He's already killed 8 people. Ruo Chen smiled. Then fighting someone like him should be interesting. Yuji sighed. Brother, you're impossible. Inside the arena stood a calm, expressionless swordsman. Ruo Chen observed him carefully. He's almost perfected his sword heart and his killing intent is incredibly powerful. Yuji added, Look at his ears and his eyes. He's half human and half demon wolf. At that moment, Hufu stepped into the arena to challenge him. Hufu laughed arrogantly. You've won enough, wolf. Against an orc warrior like me, you don't stand a chance. The swordsman didn't answer. With a single slash, he cut down both Hufu and his weapon in one move. Yuji was stunned. His speed! It's unbelievable. Honestly, I couldn't even see that attack. Ruo Chen nodded. If I'd met him a month ago, defeating him would have been very difficult. Yuji blinked. So you're saying you can beat him easily now? She smiled helplessly. Brother, your strength never stopped surprising me. Just then, a familiar voice spoke from behind. Cousin, it's been 3 years since we last met. I don't know about you, but I've missed you. Ruo Chen turned around. He immediately recognized the strange-looking young man. So that's Chen Yu, the man who became the 7th prince's subordinate. Ruo Chen smiled faintly. I didn't expect we'd meet here. No offense, cousin, but you've changed so much you almost don't look human anymore. Chen Yu's face darkened. He's trying to humiliate me in front of everyone. Just then, the crowd erupted in cheers. Lei defeated his 10th opponent. Lei sheathed his sword and turned toward Ning Shan. As I promised, I've won 10 matches for you. Ning Shan smiled. You're incredibly powerful. With your talent, you could easily serve the royal family. Why stay with the Lin family? Lei answered without hesitation. I don't serve the Lin family. I serve only you, Miss Ning Shan. Ning Shan thought to herself, if he weren't this talented, I would have never kept him as my servant. Then she looked at Ruo Chen provocatively. Ninth Prince, do you think you can withstand Lei's sword? Ruo Chen smiled. You finally found yourself a capable servant. So why are you sending him to his death? Ning Shan replied. The Ninth Prince is already one of the top 10 fighters. If he refuses this challenge, what would everyone think? Chen Yu laughed. He's just trying to show off. As Ruo Chen stepped into the arena, the audience erupted with excitement. People began whispering, most top 10 fighters come here just to earn money. But the 9th Prince doesn't need money? Does that mean he's here to prove he's worthy of his ranking? Even the 7th Prince never did something like this. Just then, Chen Fen walked onto the stage. He sneered. Last time, you got lucky. This time, luck won't save you. Ruo Chen smiled. Looks like I'll have to beat you again. But remember, this time I won't go easy on you. Chen Feng asked. Where's your sword? Ruo Chen calmly shook his head. I won't need it. That answer completely humiliated Chen Feng. Enraged, he charged straight at Ruo Chen. Ruo Chen didn't even move. As Chen Feng's sword reached him, he casually caught the blade between 2 fingers. Crack! The force shattered Chen Feng's wrist. Ruo Chen said calmly, I told you. You're not on my level. Send someone stronger. Chen Feng stared at him in disbelief. How did you become this powerful in just 1 month? Ruo Chen answered, You're the young master of a powerful family. If you spent more time cultivating instead of provoking people, you'd improve too. Chen Feng roared. I'll kill you. Ruo Chen sighed. Looks like getting beaten once wasn't enough. He immediately headbutted Chen Feng, knocking him to the ground. Yuji burst into laughter. Brother, you're amazing. You're an expert at provoking people until they lose their minds. Ningxuan gritted her teeth. The 9th prince humiliated my brother in front of everyone. Let's see how he survives today. As Chen Feng was carried away, he shouted, Ruo Chen, just wait. One day I'll become stronger than you and defeat you. Ruo Chen smiled. Compared to the other young masters, I actually like you. Challenge accepted. I'll be waiting. After that, Ruo Chen challenged the remaining ranked fighters one by one. Every single opponent fell after a single strike. The audience was left speechless. He defeated 7 ranked fighters in a row. Not one of them lasted longer than a single attack. The girls in the crowd couldn't stop cheering. We'd do anything to be with a man like him. Yuji smiled proudly. I still remember how everyone treated brother like trash when we were children. But in just a few months, he completely changed everyone's opinion. Now he's the hero of the entire kingdom. Ningxuan clenched her fists. Every time people praise him, it makes me sick. She looked toward Lei. Go. Kill him. Release your inner beast without holding anything back. Lei stepped into the arena. He pointed his sword at Ruo Chen. You made a huge mistake by offending my young mistress. Ruo Chen replied coldly. Remember your place. You're just a servant. You don't realize it yet, but your mistress is the reason you're about to die. Lei laughed. Maybe you will kill me in your dreams, because that's the only place you'll ever defeat me. Ruo Chen looked at his stance. The technique you're using is the killing sword technique. It grants tremendous power, but it also destroys the user's body from the inside. Lei smiled confidently. Since you know my technique, then you should also know how powerful it makes me. Ruo Chen shook his head. Your technique is incomplete. Half-understood knowledge is more dangerous than ignorance. If you keep fighting like this, you'll die in this arena. Ningxuan shouted impatiently. Enough talking. Kill him. Obeying her order, Lei charged forward. Ruo Chen immediately activated the meridians in his eyes, allowing him to perfectly follow Lei's incredible speed. He thought, he's much faster than Chen Feng. If I'd faced him before my breakthrough, the outcome might have been very different. Lei sneered. Why are you smiling? Are you underestimating my strength? The audience couldn't keep up with their movements. They're moving so fast we can't even see them. Watching from the sidelines, Ningxuan smiled to herself. There's nothing more satisfying than watching 2 powerful men fight over me. Ruo Chen calmly said, just surrender. You're only wasting your stamina and strength. But Lei was blindly devoted to his mistress. He ignored the warning. Ruo Chen sighed. If words won't get through to you, then I'll have to use my sword. Don't complain later that I didn't give you a chance. Lei immediately activated his demon wolf transformation. Yuji shouted, Brother, be careful. If he fully transforms, his strength will increase dramatically. Ruo Chen remained calm. It doesn't matter. I'll wait until he's completely transformed. Moments later, Lei finished transforming. Ningxuan smiled confidently. Ruo Chen, you can't win now. Watching you get beaten will be so satisfying. Unfortunately for her, Ruo Chen had an entirely different plan. Lei roared, you made the biggest mistake of your life. Now I'll kill you. He instantly appeared behind Ruo Chen. Ruo Chen realized he couldn't dodge that attack in time. Instead, he activated his defensive barrier. To everyone's shock, Lei's sword actually shattered the barrier. Lei laughed proudly. First, I broke your barrier, and now I'll break your pride. Ruo Chen smiled. You're a complete fool. He suddenly grabbed Lei's wrist and delivered a devastating slash across his body. Yuji smiled. Brother still hasn't shown his full strength. He's been holding back this entire time. Ningxuan couldn't believe what she was seeing. Lei, the undefeated swordsman she trusted so much, was being completely overwhelmed. The girls in the audience cheered loudly. The 9th prince is incredible. The lethal swordsman, who had never lost before, was completely defeated by a single attack. Lei slowly lowered his sword. I lost. He looked at Ruo Chen in confusion. Why didn't you kill me? Ruo Chen answered calmly. I don't enjoy killing people. Then he thought to himself, unless they truly deserve it. Lei lowered his head respectfully. You spared my life. I swear that one day I'll repay this debt. Back at the Lin family, Ningxuan was furious. Break this useless trash's arms and legs. He embarrassed me in front of everyone. Honestly, I should have never kept garbage like him as my servant. Without another word, she crippled Lei and threw him out onto the street to die. Lying there helplessly, Lei thought, Miss Lin, what did I do wrong? I was willing to give my life for you. Later, as Ruo Chen passed by the Lin family estate, he noticed Lei lying abandoned on the roadside. The Lin family had simply thrown him away and left him there to die. Yuji looked at the wounded man and said, "He's already severely injured. He's practically useless now. If even his own master doesn't care about him, why are we helping?" Ruo Chen replied, "If we don't help him, he'll die. I've already informed the people at the palace. They'll come and take him away. Whether he survives or not depends on his own fate. I just don't want him to die because he was betrayed by someone he trusted." Hidden nearby, Kinnuo spotted the ninth prince's carriage. A cold smile appeared on her face. "There he is, the ninth prince. Finally, I can complete my mission." She immediately launched a powerful attack, completely destroying the carriage. However, moments later she realized there was no one inside. Ruo Chen stepped out from the nearby bushes and smiled. "So they've sent another assassin to kill me. Looks like the people who want me dead are putting in a lot of effort." Yuji stepped forward and said, "Don't worry, we won't kill you. We only want to know who sent you." Kinnuo sneered. "What made you think you could defeat me?" She suddenly attacked Yuji. Using her weapon, Yuji managed to block every strike. Kinnuo laughed. "The only reason you blocked those attacks is because I wasn't trying to kill you." With a single powerful strike, she seriously injured Yuji. Then she leaped straight toward Ruo Chen. As she attacked, Ruo Chen raised his bracers and effortlessly blocked her weapon. He smiled. "I have to admit, you're quite strong," Kinnuo smirked. "Did you really think I'd attack as clumsily as those weaklings you fought before?" She twisted her weapon, wrapping its chain around Ruo Chen's arm. At the same time, she pulled a hidden dagger from between her fingers and stabbed toward him. But before the blade could reach him, Ruo Chen grabbed her hand and snapped her fingers. He looked at her calmly. "Your master made one mistake. If they wanted to kill me, they should have sent someone much stronger. Someone at your level isn't enough." With that, he delivered a devastating kick that sent the assassin flying. Kinnuo was shocked. How can someone at the novice realm possess this kind of physical strength? Before she could think any further, Ruo Chen grabbed her and slammed her into the ground. Yuji stared at him in amazement. "Brother, you're incredible. If this is your true strength, then you never even came close to using your full power in the arena." Ruo Chen replied, "Why would I show mercy to an assassin?" Then he looked at Kinnuo. "This is your last chance. Tell me who sent you." Instead of answering, Kinnuo activated a secret assassination technique. Using the opening, she managed to slash Ruo Chen across the cheek. She thought to herself, no matter how strong he is, he still lacks real combat experience. "I have to escape somehow. I need to report to the queen that the ninth prince is far stronger than we expected. He's become a serious threat to the seventh prince." Ruo Chen smiled. "You're trying to run away?" Kinnuo was stunned. "He's actually keeping up with my speed? But he's only at the novice realm." The battle continued for quite some time. Eventually, Kinnuo realized the truth. In every aspect, speed, stamina, strength, and skill, the ninth prince completely surpassed her. Since she couldn't defeat him head-on, she decided to rely on tricks. She suddenly threw several hidden needles toward him. Ruo Chen casually blocked every one of them. Kinnuo smiled inwardly. "This is the opening I've been waiting for." Ruo Chen chuckled. "What makes you think you're the only one who can throw things?" He flicked a single coin. The coin struck Kinnuo with incredible force, knocking her straight to the ground. Ruo Chen slowly walked toward her. "It's time for you to face reality." He reached for her mask, but before he could remove it, she grabbed his hand and attacked once again. Ruo Chen grew annoyed. He casually threw her backward. "You already know you can't win, so why keep struggling?" Kinnuo glared at him. "You'll never get a single word out of me." She immediately swallowed a poison pill. Moments later, her body dissolved into vapor and completely disappeared. Yuji looked around in shock. "Brother, where did the assassin go?" Ruo Chen sighed. "She's dead." The poison pill completely dissolved her body. "I have to admit, she was incredibly loyal to her master." Yuji frowned. "But now we'll never find out who was behind this." Ruo Chen smiled. "Actually, we will. Only we know the assassin is dead. The mastermind still believes she's alive. We'll use that misunderstanding to lure them into exposing themselves." The scene shifted to the queen's chambers. She was waiting impatiently for Kinnuo to return. Just then, one of her servants rushed in. "Your Majesty, terrible news!" The queen stood up. "What happened?" The servant replied. "Kinnuo failed to assassinate the ninth prince. She was seriously injured, and the ninth prince saw her face. Right now, she's supposedly imprisoned in the royal dungeon." The queen's expression immediately changed. She thought, if the king sees Kinnuo's face, he'll immediately realize I was behind everything. She quickly turned toward Lin Zhao. "Go to the dungeon immediately. Bring Kinnuo back no matter what. Make sure no one sees her. If you can't rescue her, kill her and destroy the body." Lin Zhao hesitated. "But your majesty, the ninth prince has already seen her face." The queen remained calm. "Don't worry. He won't live much longer anyway. I'll send 2 more assassins to eliminate him. I've raised all 4 of you since childhood. As long as you remain loyal to me, no one can threaten my position. I'm certain the 3 of you won't fail me." Lin Zhao bowed respectfully. "We promise we won't fail." The following day, The queen was discussing the marriage between the 7th prince and Ningshan with Chen Yu and Ningshan. She smiled. Choose whichever wedding date you like. I'll approve it. Both Chen Yu and Ningshan were overjoyed. At that moment, a maid rushed into the room. Your Majesty, all 3 of your disciples committed suicide with poison last night. Chen Yu and Ningshan were stunned. The queen, however, immediately understood what had happened. All of her assassins had been killed by Ruo Chen. She also realized that the story about Qin Nuo being imprisoned in the dungeon had been nothing more than a trap. After secretly investigating that morning, she had learned that no one had entered the royal dungeon during the entire night. She clenched her fists. Ruo Chen, you took away my most loyal subordinates. But let's see how you survive what I'm about to do next.